Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Drafts Baseball's live commentary of the Japan Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you the Hanshin Tigers and the Orix Buffaloes, as these two teams that are based in Osaka are going to be going head-to-head tonight, as it is the final game of a three-game series before the start of the regular season that begins on Friday. And we are going to give you the starting lineups. Our good friend Redbeard Jimmy stepping in to say hello before we give the lineups. The series in its third game, the Tigers won on Friday 6-2. Tigers also bounced back with a 1-0 victory yesterday, and they're looking to try to complete the series sweep here in this one. The starting lineup for this game tonight, leading off in center field is number 5, Koji Chikamoto. Batting second at second base is number 7, Takumu Nakano. Hitting third and right field is number 1, Shota Morishita. In the cleanup spot and playing third base is number 8, Teriyaki Sato. In the fifth spot and playing first base is number 3, Yusuke Oyama. Batting sixth at shortstop is number 0, Seiya Kanami. Batting seventh in left field is number 68, Hayato Nakagawa. Hitting eighth and doing the catching is number 12, Seishiro Sakamoto. And batting ninth and doing the designated hitting, and pitching, is number 18, Takato Ihara. That's your starting lineup for the Tigers, as they are going to be facing Taito Takashima will take to the hill for the Buffaloes in this one. And now your starting lineup for the Buffaloes, leading off tonight and playing third base is number 6, Yuma Mune. Batting second and in right field is number 30, it's Taishi Haruka. Hitting third and left field is number 7, Ryoma Nishikawa. Batting in the cleanup spot and playing second base is number 1, Ryo Oda. Batting fifth and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Yotaro Sugimoto. Batting sixth in center field is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. Hitting seventh and at first base tonight is number 45, Bob Seymour. Batting eighth at shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And they're going to be facing Takato Ihara, who will take to the hill tonight for the Tigers. Our friend Samurai Prayer says, thank God you will finally do a Hanshin game. And it is a battle of the two teams from Osaka. Of course, the Tigers have had the most recent success, making it to the finals last year, only to fall a little bit short to the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Your first pitch is about 2 minutes away. We appreciate you for being here. Our friend Samurai Prayer in the house. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action right after this musical timeout. Friend Samurai Prayer says, finally, we're doing a Hanshin Tigers game. Yeah, about time. Well, to be honest with you, the Tigers would like to try to get everybody at least one time in the exhibition. And I have not quite been able to do that yet, as we fell a little bit short. We were thinking about doing the Swallows and the Fighters tonight, but the Buffaloes and the Tigers with the Battle of Osaka, a festive match here before the regular season gets going, as they do almost every year, it seems. And we're going to give you the call on this one here tonight. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. First pitch is just around the corner as the Buffaloes are starting to take to the field. We'd like to share with you our thoughts with our friend Steve Rademacher throughout the night. We kept him off on the sidelines last night, but he is going to be helping us here tonight throughout the game. Here's Steve.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. The 26-year-old Takashima is taking to the hill here for the Buffaloes, as Ihara will be getting the start tonight for the Tigers. Our friend Samurai Prayer says pitchers of Hanshin have been extremely good for the last exhibition games. Yeah, that is what's going to hold them together. I don't know when they get into if they get back to the series, being the Japan series, if they're able to make it back. I don't know if I really like the depth of their offensive lineup. And that was my challenge last year, is I think their pitching is pretty good. The flexibility and depth of the offense, not so sure. And certainly we saw that on full display last year. I don't know if they've solved the left field issue, because left field could not hit worth a lick in the Japan series. And so that is going to be an important piece for them to have solved this year. Well, here we go. We are ready to get this one underway as Koji Chikamoto steps in to lead it off. The pride of Owaiji Island, as the first pitch is a fastball taken center cut for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. We are underway. First pitch officially at 18:02. 9 for 30 in the exhibition play is Chikamoto. He does have a home run to his name as he kicks and delivers. And the pitch is another fastball taken for a called strike. It's now 0-2. One thing I will say about Chikamoto is that I personally thought he should have been somebody that would have been considered for the World Baseball Classic roster for Japan. Instead, he got Morishita patrolling out in center field, and he doesn't even play for his club team. Fastball misses down and in. And I'm not saying that Morishita shouldn't have been there, because I liked his addition. But certainly the flexibility of the offense and some of the things that they had, Chikamoto could have brought. Now, with that being said, Chikamoto, at least in my eyes, can be a streaky player. He can be very hot, very cold. I think it was 3 years ago where he started off the season something like, it was like 1 for 25. There's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count goes to 2-2. I have to go back and look at it, but he was hitless for just a unbelievable period. And once he got settled down, he was fine. And it's the 2-2 pitch ready to come here as the right-hander kicks and fires. It is a fastball that misses way upstairs, and it pops out of the glove of Wakatsuki. It's going to make the count now 3-2 to Koji Chikamoto. That was actually a changeup, but way upstairs it missed. So the right-hander Takashima ready to go again as he works himself to the set position. Here comes the 3-2 offering as he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled away. And the count remains at 3-2. It's a tough ticket this series. For the Orix Buffaloes, they don't always necessarily get the best crowds, and they don't always have the most traveled supporters. But certainly for this series here, when the crosstown rivals come in, it's always fun to watch. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fastball swung, and this is belted into deep right field. This was going to be moving back as the right fielder, and it's going to be Haruka who hauls it in on the edge of the warning track, and Chikamoto is gone for out number 1. He gave it a ride. He just didn't hit it far enough, and he is out for out number 1, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Takuma Nakano. Well, for Nakano, as he steps to the plate here, getting the nod at second base tonight. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Takashima. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. The 29-year-old holding down the second base position. He's 8 for 36 in exhibition play. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and now the count goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. I would expect over the next few days, once the season opens next week, that our crowds will pick up as more people, especially those who like to place wagers down, always seem to wander in as that pitch misses upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to Nakano. But for the exhibition season, I was pretty pleased getting a bunch of games in the Classic, a bunch of exhibition games in the Japan, in the NPB, as we lopped off about 25 games. That's pretty decent. By the end of the month, we might be able to knock off 3 more once the regular season starts. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2 to Nakano. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So when people start plowing into the stream and wanting to know where they can watch the game, which most of the time we tell people, if you haven't been around, go fly a kite. As there is a split finger pitch that misses down, it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes. And at this particular juncture in the game, we'll always refer them back to the 12-minute mark. So we don't have to interrupt the stream. As the right-hander ready to go again. Here comes the 3-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. This is going to be looped into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit, and it's going to get all the way to the wall. Oh, they're going to have to go in after it. And rounding second and speeding into third with a triple is going to be Nakano. Oh, boy, that ball just got on the ground, and it kept rolling forever, and nobody there. They were playing him more to right center field as if to pull. He went the other way with it, and the ball went into the gap and just kept rolling forever. So a triple here with 1 out for Nakano, and that is going to bring up the right fielder in Shota Morishita. And there was nobody in sight. He must have had Nishikawa in and toward the foul line looking to take away the flare as the ball was able to get all the way to the wall. So this brings Morishita to the plate, runner on third, 1 gone, and the first pitch is a fastball missing down and away for ball 1. If you want to watch the game on TV, MBS Minichi Broadcasting is carrying it. J Sport 3 has it, or BS TV Tokyo. There's your television guide. Morishita 3 for 11 in the exhibition play, although he did spend a lot of time with the Japan World Baseball Classic team. There's a fastball that misses down and away. Count now 2-0. If you're looking to stream online, how about DAZN, Rakuten TV, Baseball Live, or Toratel are options for you there. And good luck with all of them. So 2 balls and no strikes as the right-hander works himself to the set position. And the pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Runner at third is Nakano. 1 gone here. The triple with 1 away. Both of the first 2 batters went to full counts on the right-hander who holds to the set and now delivers. Fastball swung on and fouled away. Count runs now even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got to tell you, I really like Morishita. He pretty much was riding pine, and then finally they gave up on Kondo, maybe a little too late. And he had a 3-run blast in the World Baseball Classic when he finally got his opportunity to play. Here's the 2-2. Fastball misses down and away, and the count goes to 3-2. I think in a short tournament like that, you got to start playing the hot hand. And if guys are cold, you got to make changes quick and find somebody who's going to be able to produce. And I think the manager Ibata on so many fronts, played his loyalty cards, but didn't make the adjustments or the changes as necessary. Interesting. Infield is in, but outfield is deep. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and is lifted down the first base line. It's slicing. Over is the first baseman, Seymour, but he's going to watch it sail into the seats, and the count remains full to Morishita. Defensively tonight for the Buffaloes, around from left to right, it is Nishikawa in left. The center fielder is Nakagawa, and in right field, it's Haruka. Around the horn from first to third, you got Seymour at first. At second, it is Oda. The shortstop is Kirbayashi, and Mune at third, with the battery of Takashima and Wakatsuki. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Oh, Takashima walked the ladder, and Morishita went after it, and he's gone on strikes for the second out of the inning. And that's going to leave it all up to the third baseman in Teriyaki Sato. While Sato strides to the plate, he is another member of the World Baseball Classic team. And there was talk in the tournament that he and Hiromi Ito will be posted at the end of the year. First pitch breaking ball misses down and away. The count is 1-0 to Sato. Sato 1 for 10 in exhibition play. Of course, he, like Morishita, has not had a full slate of exhibition at bats as he was with the Samurai Japan. Fastball swung on, popped up down the left field line, but it's going to get into the seats. Count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the first inning, Tigers wearing their road grays with the gray helmet and the black bill. And for the Buffaloes, they are in their traditional home whites with the black and gold trims. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled right off into the catcher, Wakatsuki. It's going to run the count to 1-2. That was a changeup from the pitcher Takashima, but it was left way up in the zone. Maybe I think if I'm a hitter, I might want to start sitting on changeup at some point. If he's throwing it with some relative frequency, it's a few that we've seen in this inning already. 1-2 pitch ready to come. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball that misses way upstairs, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was the 25th pitch of the inning. 14 have been for strikes. So not quite the start for the right-hander of the Buffaloes. So he's trying to wiggle himself out of some difficulty. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on and fouled away. That is going to keep the count at 2-2 to Sato. As he gets himself a new baseball, Takashima ready to go back to work again. Leaning in, getting the sign from Wakatsuki, works himself to the set. And the 2-2 ready to go. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball, misses outside. And all 4 hitters to come to bat have been worked a full count. And it is no different here with Sato, so something has to give. So 3 balls and 2 strikes and 2 away. Takashima nodding in agreement with Wakatsuki. I wonder how long we're going to see the starter here for. What the plan will be, as we've seen different plans the last couple of nights. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is chopped over to first. Fielded neatly by Seymour. He's going to take it himself. That's going to go as a ground out to 3 to end the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Tigers in their half of the first. They threaten, but they don't score. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left stranded aboard. Your score as we are through a half inning. It is the Tigers, no score, and the Buffaloes coming to bat. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with the call. Just a couple of minutes with all the action here for you tonight on the Last Drops Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order. It's going to be Mune, Haruka, and Nishikawa. Do you come to bat here to face the starter Takato Ihara? As we will begin here the bottom half of inning number 1. Tigers had a 1-out triple off the bat of Nakano, but unable to bring him home. As we begin the bottom of the first, and the first pitch on the way. Fastball that misses down, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yuma Mune. When lead it off here, he is 12 for 34 in exhibition play. He's off to a good start in the preseason. Takes a fastball on the outside corner, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the lefty works into the delivery, and he kicks and fires. There's a fastball missing down and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Ihara, you've seen him before, but not very much. A very distinctive pig glove from the left side. He's not a big guy. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to short. Fielded on the run by Kanami. He fires to first, and that is going to retire Mune on a ground out 6-3. So 1 up and 1 away here for the Buffaloes, and that's going to bring up the right fielder in Taishi Haruka. Well, for Haruka, he gets the start in right field tonight, the former Yomiuri Giant. We've seen him can play in the outfield pretty much anywhere, also plays third base. And we've occasionally seen him at first as there's a breaking ball that misses outside. Count is 1-0. 28-year-old, came over a couple of years ago. 6 for 26. He's hitting .231 in exhibition play as he pitches on the way. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Our friend Samurai Prayer says Ihara still has a chance to be one of the 6-man rotation pitchers. As that ball is fouled away into the seats over on the first base side, the count is 1-2. It's so competitive because Hanshin has a lot of great pitchers. And you're absolutely correct. That is the depth of their team, is their starting pitching. The 1-2 on the way, which is why I feel that the Tigers are going to win the Central League, as that fastball misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the lefty kicks and he delivers, there's a fastball just missing outside, and the count goes full now to Haruka. And I really like the way that the Tigers, as I said, the strength as they're pitching, their offense, they could really use another bat. When Sheldon Noisy left after their championship season a couple of years ago, I felt that they really never replaced that particular portion of their lineup. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see. That's been done tonight as that fastball is lifted foul into the seats down the right field line, and the count remains full to Haruka. And I felt that was present last year against the Hawks. They were just 1 bat away from being able to flip some of those games around. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Haruka. He's down for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. On top of that, thinking of last year with the lineup where it was, I remember the bottom third of the batting order for the Tigers in the Japan series was absolutely abysmal. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but it was something like they were like 3 hits for the series, and they weren't even getting on base in other ways. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and tapped foul over behind home plate, and the count is 0-1. I don't have my archives in front of me as I'm remotely doing this one here. 7 for 26 in exhibition play with a homer and 4 RBIs as the left-hander delivers to Nishikawa. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over behind the third base dugout. Count now, no balls and 2 strikes. We are excited for the opening of the season. Of course, it starts on Friday. Most likely, we are leaning toward the matchup between Fighters and the Hawks. Fastball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 1-2. Pretty sure that's what we're going to lean into for game 1 of the season. That would be a rematch of last year's Pacific League Climax Series. So here comes the 1-2. Ihara kicks, and he fires. There's a breaking ball down. The appeal over to the third base umpire. Did he go? No, he didn't go, and that's going to run the count now even to 2-2. The umpires for tonight's game, it's Mizuguchi behind the plate. Siyama is working first. It is Takashi Yamamoto at second. And Shimada is over in the rocking chair at third. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the lefty kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball swung on and tapped foul on the first base side of home plate. And this battle will continue. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 here. as the pitcher Ihara gets himself a new baseball, and we're back at it again. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on, and another one fouled off over on the first base side. The count remains at 2-2. So much almost like the first inning where the pitcher for the Buffaloes threw north of 25 pitches. Ihara's had to work here as well, as he's approaching the 20 pitch mark. He's at pitch number 18 coming up right now. Here's the 2-2 as he kicks and delivers. Another fastball swung on and another one fouled away, and the battle continues with Nishikawa. And often when you see that, when pitchers are really deep into batters, it tells you that maybe they don't have the stuff to put away a hitter, either whether it be the movement on the pitch, a plus breaking ball, a plus fastball. Maybe they're just settling in right now. It's something to keep an eye on. Here's the 2-2 pitch. As the lefty kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on, grounded up the middle. Nice play by Kanami, ranging to his left. He fires to first, and that is going to retire Nishikawa on a ground out 6-3 for out number 3, and that'll do it for the Buffaloes here in inning number 1. They go in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Your score as we are through 1 complete. Buffaloes nothing and the Tigers nothing, and now we can officially begin our stream as our friend God is Great is in the house. Welcome. We'll be back in just a couple of moments after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Oda. Let's check that. It's going to be Oyama, Kaname, and Nakagawa to come to bat. Our friend Gracie Lynn just popped in. We are glad to have you with us, as our friend God is Great is in the house here, as there's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. Quickly 0-1 to Oyama. Oyama 8 for 30. No homers and 1 RBI in exhibition play. Batting here against the right-hander Takashima, who threw 28 pitches in inning number 1. As the right-hander delivers a changeup that misses upstairs, and the count goes even to 1-1. Gracie says, what do you miss? Not much, other than the 2 pitchers having to throw a lot of pitchers to get the outs in inning number 1. There's a fastball swung on it. It's fouled right off into the midsection of Wakatsuki. Oh, boy. Looked like it might have got him in the quad. That's what happens when you catch on one knee. There's no protection. So there you have it. You got all your protection on your shin guards. You got nothing on your thigh. There's no thigh guard. And so now that is where he's taken it, right in the thigh. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Pitch again, fastball just misses, and the count now goes to 2-1. Our friend Gracie Lynn said she saw a match in Herediano. I was watching all kinds of stuff on the television today, including a Austin FC and LAFC soccer game. Ground ball over to short, fielded by Kirby-Ashi, bobbles it, able to maintain it, fires it across the diamond, and Oyama's gone on a ground out 6-3 for out number 1. That's going to bring Seiya Kanami to the plate. As I mentioned, I watched a little college basketball, watched a little National Hockey League, watched a little bit of some MLS soccer. And then now we're watching the NPB late night tonight. So here comes the shortstop Kanami to the plate, batting from the left side. The first pitch is a breaking ball missing up in the way, and the count is 1-0. 31-year-old Kanami has made a couple of nice plays tonight. He's 9 for 26, hitting .346 in exhibition play. No homers and 2 RBIs. Takes a fastball outside. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they say he didn't go. It's going to run the count now to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Again, the right-hander kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This is belted in deep right field. Moving back onto the warning track and making the catch is Haruka. The typically light-hitting Kanami put a charge into that one, but he's going to be retired for out number 2. And that'll bring up the left fielder in Hayato Nakagawa. And as I mentioned before, one of the things is the, or at least what I talked about earlier, was the issue in left field for the Tigers. Are they going to be able to get some offensive production? Rolled a number of players through that Japan series last year, and nothing really was clicking. So the 22-year-old getting an opportunity here, 13 for 40 in exhibition play, as the first pitch on the way is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Only 22 years old. You're going to get maybe some looks, because what you had the last couple of years wasn't working. There was a breaking ball that misses down. The count is 2-0. Then, as I mentioned, even Noisy, I believe Noisy came back after they won. Somebody might correct me if I'm wrong. They really wasn't the same player. In fact, I think he got released before the end of the season. Fastball swung on and missed. Count goes to 2-1. I have to go back and look at my reference notes, but as I said, I'm not where I need to be. So Gracie Lynn said, Alajuelense lost 2-1 in soccer with the Costa Rican updates. There's the 2-2 pitch. It's a fastball that misses down. Count now goes to 3-2. Our friend Samurai Player says, for the Hanshin Tigers, the shortstop and left field are the only positions they can compete to get. All the other positions have regular players. You're absolutely correct. As the pitch is a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Nakagawa. He's down on strikes for the third out of the inning. And that is why they have Devaney as well as a shortstop potential to maybe supplant Kanami. So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard as they go in order here in inning number 2. We're moving to the bottom of the second inning. Your score is the Tigers nothing, the Buffaloes nothing. Stick around, everybody. I'll come back and continue my comments about this when we return in just a few. It'll be Oda, Sugimoto, and Nakagawa to come to bat in just a few. Stay with us, everybody. It is 0-0 as we move to the top of the third. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Welcome back, everybody. The 25-year-old Ryo Oda stepping up to the plate as he is ready to face Ihara for the first time, and he swings and fouls the first pitch away, and the count is 0-1. In the first inning for Ihara, he threw 19 pitches to retire the 3 batters he faced. He's got Oda, Sugimoto, and Nakagawa to face here in inning number 2 as the lefty kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball that misses down. And the count now runs even to 1-1. Friend Gracie Lynn says she's got us on TV and the radio stream for Essendon Bombers in Port Adelaide. Some Australian footy. Fastball swung on, popped up down the right field line, racing out and making a tremendous over-the-shoulder catch is Nakano. Where was Morishita? But that was an acrobatic effort there by Nakano. I know both players had to come a long way, but Nakano able to run it down. And that is going to retire Oda for the first out of the inning. So some solid play from the middle infield right now. Both Nakano and the shortstop Kanami making some beautiful plays. And that one there, maybe with a rabbit foot in the pocket, as he's able to come up with it. This brings Yataro Sugimoto to the plate. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on, and it's cued foul over on the first base side. The count is 0-1. Our friend Samurai Prayer said that Hanshin and Orix had a super low score game yesterday. He figures they'll get more runs. Well, you can't get any lower than 1-0 yesterday. So I think you're right. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2, unless they keep the bats in the freezer. 34-year-old Sugimoto, 0 for 13 in exhibition play. I would have to think that that's going to turn around. Batting from the right side, and he's much better shape. There's a fastball down in the dirt. I noticed that last year he had a reconfiguration of his physique. And he is, in my opinion, much better built. So whoever his trainer is, give him props, and also to Sugimoto, because you can have a trainer, but if you don't put in the work, it's not going to work for you. And he definitely revamped. It looked like he trimmed down. It looks like it is a lot better physique here. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined into the left field corner. Now he's got his first hit of the exhibition. In after it to pick it up is Nakagawa, and he's going to fire it in. Cruising into second base with a stand-up double is Sugimoto. So he's got himself a double, and that's going to bring up the center fielder in Kai Nakagawa. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, can't figure out why the Nationals sent Dylan Cruz down. Yeah, we were talking about it the other day. Gracie Lynn is hosting a fantasy pool. And so I was humbled to be invited to the group. So I have already told her I'm already getting ready to get a championship trophy in year 1. Fastball taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1 to Kai Nakagawa. 29-year-old Nakagawa batting from the right side here. He is 5 for 29 in the exhibition play, batting 172. As the lefty Ihara ready to deliver. And he kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted over on the first base line. It's going to slice its way into the seats, and that's going to run the count now to 0-2. And so anyways, Dylan Cruz is a player that I picked in the later rounds. I think he had 17 homers last year. So I don't know what the issue is over there. They got some strange stuff going on in Washington. Talk about C.J. Abrams being dealt. Of course, was it last year or the year before where he had some issues where it was known that he was in the casinos gambling a little bit, staying out a little too late or a lot too late. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count goes to 0-2. And what I should tell people is when people start hearing about things in the media, it's not because things haven't been taken care of or talked about beforehand. You may have had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 opportunities to keep it hush-hush, and then finally the team throws its hands up and says, hey, we can't get through to this guy. We're going to leak something out. Because I do think that for the most part, you want to try to keep whatever he was doing under wraps. They throw over to second base, and they're going to pick off Sugimoto. He's sleeping over there at second. A nice backdoor play by Nakano. You got to expect it in the exhibition play. I've seen so many pickoffs at second base or attempted pickoffs. He was caught flat-footed, and it was a great timing play, and he wasn't able to get back in time. I don't know if they're going to take a look at this or not because it was a close play. Doesn't look like it. Sugimoto came right off the field and right down the tunnel he goes. He's gone for the second out. 1-4 on the pickoff. And here's the 0-2 pitch to Nakagawa. It's a breaking ball missing down, and the count is 1-2. Samurai Prayer said that Nakano is a very skilled player. Yeah, their middle infield, you can't defensively. I don't know. Name me a better keystone combination in the NPB up the middle defensively. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into right center field. This ball could be trouble, but nope, it's going to get run down by Morishita, and that is going to do it. Nakagawa is going to be gone for the third out. Well, an unconventional 1-2-3 inning. They waste a double by Sugimoto as he gets picked off at second base. No runs, one hit, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We are through 2 complete innings. It is the Tigers nothing and the Buffaloes nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, according to the NPB rules, you can get 0-0 in 12 innings, so it can't be lower than 1-0. In exhibition play, there is no extra innings. It is what it is. We'll be back in just a few right after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat for the Tigers. That means Sakamoto, Ihara, and the top of the order, Chikamoto. Wearing the captaincy this year is the catcher, Seishiro Sakamoto, as the right-hander delivers a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1 to Sakamoto. Our friend Gracie Lynn said that she knows that Cruz had a big-time swing and miss rate. Can't be any bigger than James Wood, who struck out 250 some odd times last year. 0-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Sakamoto. As Gracie Lynn is giving us the tips on the updates. Yeah, he was actually, there was a few other bats that were out there and a few other arms that looked at and said, well, maybe I might grab somebody here, grab somebody there. But for the most part, I think we're going to be okay. Not overly concerned. Happy with the construction of my group. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted foul into the seats, and the count remains at 0-2, even though I'm able to get some players late that have history of injuries, such as Mike Trout. Has the 1-2 pitch ready to come. Pitch on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to third. Fielded on the run by Mune. He throws off one leg. Oh, make it look smooth and easy. Yuma, as that's going to retire Sakamoto on a ground out 5-3. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and it's going to bring up the pitcher in Takato Ihara. They list him as pitcher DH for this one here. So we saw this last night when Freddie Tarnock for the Hiroshima Carp had it at bat. And then his second at bat, he was still in the game pitching, and then they brought in Eliharius Montero. They rolled a couple other hitters through that spot. And the first pitch delivered to Ihara as a fastball ticket for a called strike. I got to tell you this. When you see some pitchers come to bat, we're not sure whether they can swing it or not. Ihara gets up to the plate. He looks like he's not just ready to swing it. He's looking like he wants to drive something extra bases. Here's the 1-2. Fastball misses up and away. Count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Ihara. And as our friend Samurai Prayer says, yeah, competition for one of these 6 starter spots. Fastball swung on and a grounded foul. Count goes to 1-2. Is up for grabs. Is what we have here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So pitcher delivers again. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Speaking of strikeouts, that's the third one now recorded by the starter Takashima. As he is able to get Ihara looking for out number 2, it'll bring up the top of the order in Koji Chikamoto. Well, for Chikamoto, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to right field his first time up. Batting from the left side here against the right-hander Takashima, who has significantly settled down as the pitch is a fastball that misses up, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. 9 for 31, hitting .290. In the exhibition play is Chikamoto. Pitch is swung on it as he lined into straightaway center field. He started into Nakagawa, then he backed up to his right, and he makes the catch. And that is a pretty quick inning here for Takashima as he retires the Tigers in order. He has now set down 8 in a row since the triple by Nakano. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're going to the bottom of the 3rd inning. We're moving along pretty quick. It is the Buffaloes and the Tigers locked up at 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back here in just a few on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes. That means Bob Seymour, Kotaro Kobayashi, and Kenya Wakatsuki to face the left-hander starter Takato Ihara. Our friend Samurai Prayer had mentioned the other day about the battle for this spot. Interesting that they anointed Ihara the 18 as the first pitch coming to Seymour. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. Seymour hitting 167 in exhibition play, not off to exactly a big start. Former Tampa Bay Ray getting his opportunity here in Japan. One of the things when you go play internationally, you have to be better than what they have. Breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes even to 1-1. You are brought in to produce, and Seymour certainly hasn't done that quite yet. You think of some of the players that they've had in the recent memory. Certainly Yuma Tongu was producing a couple of years ago and off and on this year. Maybe that's a competition at first base to get Tongu to pull it out so that he can bring his head out of his backside and play regular much better. Breaking ball was swung on and missed by Seymour, so it's 1-2 here. Lefty Ihara kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Cutter Butter. Yeah, well, it's a different name. But it is the logo that we do like. And welcome back. My friend Gracie Lynn wants to know if we got Hollis's name. Actually, I forgot to message. I got to make a note of that. Fastball swung on. That's going to be lifted softly into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit as Bob Seymour got jammed on the pitch. But he'll take it nonetheless. It's a single here to lead off the third inning, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Kentaro Kobayashi. I'll just make my note here for Matt Hollis, his Apple name, so we can get him a little bit of love over there, or at least listen to the 45 seconds. I think it's rap, or maybe it's reggae. I can't remember what he actually put out. So that's going to be the shortstop, Kobayashi, who is having an abysmal exhibition season. He's 2 for 26, no homers and a couple RBIs. Swings at the first pitch and hammers it foul over on the third base side. So no balls and one strike. Maybe he's about to give up on that HLP technique he was using last year, which I see some guys use. It's absolute bunk. 77 average. That ought to tell you right there. And if you're not sure, it's high-level performance hitting is what it boils down to. Anybody who is involved with that or teaches that, I don't even know what to tell them. Breaking ball misses outside. Count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. That, or like Barnum and Bailey once said, there's a sucker born every minute. Well, sometimes there's people in this game who will take your money and they don't know a whole lot. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lifted foul down the left field line. It was sky high over top of the netting beyond the temporary seating, and the count goes to 1-2. A friend, Gracie Lynn, says she likes Kobayashi in the NPB. He's a pretty steady Eddie. I mean, it seems like he's been around forever. He's 24 years old, and he broke in, I think, when he was 18, or definitely when he was 19. And he makes routine plays routine. He's not spectacular, but he does everything well. There's a ground ball hit back to the pitcher. They go to second for 1, back to first, and that's going to be a double play. And that is a 1-6-3 variety, as he is going to be gone on the trail side. Bob Seymour raced at second. It's going to bring up Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate. So the Buffaloes have had 2 hits in the ball game. Sugimoto had doubled, got picked off a second, and Seymour got a single, and it was erased in a double play. So not a very productive time right now for the Buffaloes. One would have to think that if we were in the regular season, we would be seeing a little bit more bunting. There's not been a lot of bunting in the exhibition play, and understandably so, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Yeah, Kobayashi is a pretty consistent player. There's no doubt about it. Wakatsuki 0 for 1 in exhibition play. He's another one that I think has subscribed to some of that HLP training where he really lifts up his stride foot, leaves it up in the air, and then he comes down. And I don't know where his timing is at on this, but I think that he probably should be wanting to go to a different hitting coach. It's just that he's not ready to hit. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. Bob Seymour would have been with the Mariners. I don't know if he spent any time with the Giants he was with the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't think he spent any time with the Giants or the Mariners. But I could be wrong there, but pretty sure that I know he was Tampa Bay for sure. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Wakatsuki. As the 2-2 is ready to come, there's a breaking ball that misses outside. It's now 3-2. As I mentioned before, they've anointed number 18 to Ihara. And 18 is traditionally given to the ace of the staff. I kind of wondered why that was given when you're a guy who's fighting for one of the spots in the rotation. Fastball misses down. It's going to be ball 4, and that's going to be the first walk issued here. That'll bring up the top of the order and the hot-hitting Yumamune coming to the plate. Gracie Lynn said, I knew he was one of those smaller teams. Yep, he was there. I don't even really remember him a whole lot last year from his days in Tampa. I mean, other than the waiver wire. 12 for 35, or the option wire when he was sent up and down, is what Yumamune is hitting, and he takes a first pitch fastball outside, ball 1. Mooney grounded out to short his first time up. It will be great for him to get off to a good start for the Buffaloes. His defense and Kirby Ashe on the left side, it is locked down for the Buffaloes. They don't make too many mistakes. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. The count goes to 1-1. Last year, it was Mooney who was wearing a shin guard and a knee plate. And it was funny, when we were watching the World Baseball Classic, Ronald Acuna Jr. was wearing the same thing. At first, I thought he was wearing a catcher's shin guard. Did the double take, and it looked like maybe he had borrowed Mooney's. Fastball catches the outside corner for called strike. The count now goes to 1-2. Gracie Lynn said there was nothing memorable about his time in the NPB, and that would be facts. Not a lot of memories by Bob Seymour. Here's the 1-2 pitch as the lefty Ihara holds set again and delivers. Fastball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. 50 pitches already delivered by Ihara. He has thrown 19 in the first, 12 in the second. He's already at 19 here in the third. So not the most economical by his standards, or for that matter, for the starter for the Buffaloes as well. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted into the seats down the left field line. Count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mooney ready to go again as the starter Ihara gets a new baseball, rubs it up and ready to go. Working to the set. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball swung on, lifted into left field, moving over and toward the foul line. And making the catch is the left fielder Nakagawa, and that is going to do it. Mooney is going to be gone for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We are now through 3 complete. We are where we started. 1/3 of the game is in the books, and it is 0-0. Stick around, everybody. We will be back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Tigers. That means it is going to be Nakano, Morishita, and Sato to face the starter Taito Takashima. Our friend Gracie Lynn kind of says surprised to see that an NPB team signed him. There's a first pitch breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. The NPB has a tendency to look at guys that I like to call 4A players. Too good for AAA, not good enough for the big leagues. And they're just missing a tool or two, and they need a chance to play. And there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. And so, getting a chance to go play in the NPB, you're not getting, chump pitching. You're getting some pitching that's as good as major league pitching for sure. As the 1-1 is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and lifted foul, and the count now goes to 1-2. I would say that's one thing in the NPB over the last 20 years that has improved tenfold has been the pitching. A lot of pitching has been pretty good. You go and watch a KBO game or you go watch a Chinese professional game, and they just don't have enough arms, not enough good ones. And you see it in their national teams. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into right field down for a base hit. Nakano has got himself halfway to the cycle with a single and a triple tonight. And that is going to bring up the right fielder in Shota Morishita. All the action gets going for real on Friday, as it is going to be the Fighters and the Hawks, as we're going to try to open up the season with that one, as it'll be Pacific League action. So hopefully you can join us on the late night for that. And then we will announce our schedule. Will be on for the Saturday game as well. And we will be taking Sunday off. We will be out of town as we're going to catch the Mariners play the Guardians. As there's a breaking ball, take it for a called strike. Morishita bends backwards, can't believe the call. So no balls and one strike it is. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, how long have you had the scrolling ticker had it? About 5 years or 4 years, however long we've been doing the NPB. As the 0-1 pitch is coming, instead they throw to first base, and it hits the runner, and then it squirts into the right field side of first base. Seymour runs it down and going to pick it up. So no balls and one strike. Glad to see that you've noticed it, though, especially maybe now that it's on TV. So I'm often curious on that, how people are watching it or listening through their television. I know when I was in Vietnam, I had YouTube on the telly. I have it on the smart TV. I don't really have... I've got a couple of flat screens, but I've got one of the original ones where it doesn't really give you good apps. Here's the 0-1 pitch. As they throw it to first base, and diving back is Nakano. I have to figure out to do something with it because everything else. Gracie Lynn says, how do you get a scrolling bar across the bottom? Well, we use a platform called StreamYards to stream the games. And so it's like a third party. Some people use OBS, some people use different stuff, and ours is StreamYard. So it's a application that you can have. You can have a one like that, or you can even do something different. As that fastball misses inside, when Gracie Lynn asks a question, we can do this and put it up on your big screen TV. But we don't do that very often. We save that for quite a bit. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. As the right-hander holds to the set and now delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. Not too many empty seats for this one. As we mentioned, these two teams will see each other again in interleague play in June. And then outside of that, it is a whole lot of nothing until the postseason. Maybe they see each other again in the Japan series, as they did a few years ago. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted down the right field line, giving chase is Seymour, but it's going to drift into the seats, and the count remains at 1-2. And our friend Yatu Yu in the house, he says, I've been enjoying the Senbatsu tournament, but I'm looking forward to having the Tigers back in the Koshin. Yeah, I bet you are. Nothing like the Koshin Stadium. Fred Gracie Lynn said most people use OBS, so you don't normally see that. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And it is a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and Morishita's in the books for the first out of the inning. So one gone. That's going to bring up the third baseman in Teriyaki Sato. Yeah, I looked at OBS, and to be honest with you, it's beyond my scope and capability. I'd really have to sit down and to learn it, or maybe have somebody teach it to me. But on my own, I was like speaking a whole other language, especially for my production qualities. It is a challenge trying to call and to do everything on the backside. So this makes it really easy. As they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner, Nakano. Sato 0 for 1 today. He grounded to first his first time up. He's 1 for 11 in exhibition play since returning from the Japanese national team duties. They need his bat to get going. The home run leader in the Central League last year takes a fastball outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. So the right-hander ready to go again as Sato waggling the bat. The 1-0 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted into the seats foul over on the third base side. And the count now runs even to 1-1. So a ball and a strike. So for those of you who've just joined us, we're in the top of the fourth inning. No score in this one so far. Tigers only had 2 hits, and the Buffaloes themselves only have 2 hits. Not a lot of base runners, not a lot of traffic. As the 1-1 pitch is ready to come, the right-hander leans in, gets the sign, checks the runner at first. And now the pitch to Sato after a very long hold. And it's a split-finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-2. I didn't know if I could hold any longer. I was going to ask the umpire for time. Holy jeez. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Let's see if he comes with a quick pitch here. Try to mess with the timing of Sato. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is as he works himself to the set. And now he delivers again. There's a breaking ball that misses way outside. And the count goes to 2-2. They do have a rule in the NPB that says your pitcher, when they come to the set position, have to hold it for 3 seconds. Certainly not a rule in North America. So 3-second hold. And certainly in North America, the hold counts will vary. There used to be something in the rule book that said a discernible stop. 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Count remains at 2-2. Our friend Gracie Lynn has been typing away. I haven't actually looked at that. Some of the other stuff that you'd mentioned there, you're saying I'm in the minority, but wish MLB did away with the NL, and modified schedule. 162 game season. Everybody plays, she says, 174 game season. Everybody plays home and home. I'd rather have just the 2 leagues go head to head and keep them separated for the entire year. And I like the original interleague play where you just got a chance to see 1 division each year. Kind of keeps it fresh, because if you're going to have divisions, why not? If not, just create 1 30-team league and the top 8 teams make the playoffs. There's that fastball swung on and lifted foul, and the count remains at 2-2 to Sato. But we are going to see some 6-man rotations. I understand the Angels are going to a 6-man rotation. But I don't think Tuesdays and Sundays off is going to work in North America. It works in Japan, but not necessarily North America. And I'll comment on that as that fastball swung on and tipped into the glove of the catcher, Wakatsuki. That's going to retire Sato for the second out. You've got so many people that do different things in their careers. You have different places, have different types of work. So, for example, when you think of the type of work in Las Vegas, it's the casino industry. It is based there. People, their shifts are different. When you think of the auto market or the auto sector in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, up into Canada, it is shift work. When you get to the West Coast, you have different types and styles of working days, especially people who are in insurance, as that breaking ball is taken for a called strike. Or if you're dealing with the stock market, as there are people that are investment advisors out West, your day starts at 6:30 in the morning. And it ends at 1 in the afternoon because you're on East Coast time. So this is Oyama at the plate, and he's behind in the count at 0-1, and the pitch is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So in saying that, depending upon how places operate, could dictate Mondays in some spots could be actually a good place to go see a game. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, in the minor leagues, they're kind of doing that in the Northwest League where they're playing Tuesday to Sunday, but the same team comes in for a 6-game series. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on. It is lifted into deep right center field, but moving over to his left to make the catch is Nakagawa, and that is going to retire Oyama for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs in the inning. There was 1 hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 3.5. It is the Tigers nothing, the Buffaloes nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate you for hanging in here on the Last Drafts Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming to bat for the Buffaloes, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Haruka, Nishikawa, and Oda. Our friend Gracie Lynn is saying 130 team league, only if it's a balanced schedule. But we put this out the other day. At what point in time is there going to be a shift in Major League Baseball where you're going to see 10 or 12 teams get together and say, look, we're tired of having to pull the Florida teams, Washington, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Colorado, the Athletics along, and we're just going to break away from Major League Baseball. We're going to have a 12-team professional league where we can spend what we want and do what we want. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to Haruka. So in other words, like the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies, you would probably have to say those are the core four. Then you think about maybe the Giants. There's another one. As a fastball is taken inside for called strike. The count is 0-2. But you have to wonder, you say it's never going to happen, but that's why we had the American League and National League for years. And when you look at soccer in Europe, they talked about a few years ago, as that fastball misses down and in, it's now 1-2 to Haruka. They were talking about creating a European Super League where like United and Chelsea would leave the English League as Liverpool would, and there'd be a bunch of teams that would go to that European Super League. Fastball misses down and away, counts 2-2. Well, at what point in time would they have to consider that in Major League Baseball, saying, look, we want a Super League where we can spend almost like the Live Golf Tour, creating where they got unlimited supply of money. Fastball swung on, grounded back to the pitcher. Nice job by Ihara to field it. Underhand flips it to the first baseman, and that is going to retire Haruka on a ground out 1-3. He's out for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. Our friend Gracie said that Super League in Europe. Well, there is a difference between that Super League proposed in Europe for soccer and in North America. Number one is that you have how many countries that teams would have been picking apart. So you've got how many just different legal jurisdictions. Fastball comes inside, almost hits Nishikawa. Count is 1-0. United States, you just have one set of courts, but I think that would be an easier chance to be able to do that in the States than, say, for example, in Europe. Here's the 1-0. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined, right to the glove of the second baseman, Nakano. Nice play by him as he was ranging to his left into the 4-hole. Another beautiful play. We were talking about this earlier. Our friend Samurai Prayer had said that Nakano is a very good defensive player, and he is showing it here tonight. He's made 3 plays that have been absolutely sparkling. And he's swinging the bat well here as well. So that is 2 in the books. It is going to bring up the second baseman, Ryo Oda. So Oda stepping to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight as he popped out to second his first time up. The way the game started here, I didn't think we were going to get ourselves a pitcher's duel. And our friend Samurai Prayer said that there's probably going to be more runs scored here tonight. Well, the way things are going, there may not be any, as that ball was fouled away by Oda, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Oda batting from the right side, had a breakout year last year for the Buffaloes, as the lefty Ihara kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2, so no balls and 2 strikes. Again, Ihara, the lefty, working himself into the delivery. He's got this pause at the top, and then he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty ready to go again. As he gets his sign, he kicks and he fires. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball goes the other way, and it's going to get into the corner. It's going to be extra bases. Rounding first, heading to second is Oda. They come up with it, but he's going to cruise in there safely. So Oda with a 2-out double. And that is going to bring Yataro Sugimoto to the plate, who doubled his first time up and then was later picked off. At least I think it's Sugimoto, unless they decide to replace him. He had a great swing and then gets caught sleeping over at second base. So Oda giving the tip of the cap to all of those that are around. And the lefty Ihara ready to go. It is Sugimoto batting again. We were talking about in his last at bat how he has really trimmed down. That was last year where it was really noticeable. 34-year-old batting from the right side, and the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, popped up down the right field line, giving chase, and over in foul territory is the first baseman Oyama, and he's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it. Sugimoto's gone for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the fourth. No runs, one hit, no errors, and one left aboard. Your scorers, we are through 4 complete. We are where we started. Tigers nothing, Buffaloes nothing. Stick around, everybody. The top of the 5th is just around the corner right after this timeout. It is a scoreline of 0-0 as we move to the top of the 5th. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Gracie Lynn is holding down her end of the chat tonight. And we're glad that you have made it in here with us as we are back to the live action. 72 pitches through the first 4 innings for the right-handed throwing Takashima as he delivers a first pitch fastball to Seiya Kanami for a called strike. The count is 0-1. It's Kanami, Nakagawa, and Sakamoto to come to bat here. Kanami 0 for 1 tonight, flew out to right field deep his first time up. The pitch is a fastball swung on, his line into straightaway center field, but it's going to get down in front of Nakagawa for a base hit. So a leadoff single here to start the top of the 5th inning. That is going to bring up Hayato Nakagawa to the plate. Well, for Nakagawa, he is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. As our friend Samurai Prayer was saying earlier on, the competition for spots is at short and in left field. That's where the production is needed for the Tigers. The rest of the positions are pretty much set, unless somebody gets hurt. So we were commenting earlier, we haven't seen a whole lot of bunts in this one, but we are going to see one now as they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner. So the batter, Nakagawa, squaring the bunt here. As the corners are in, they're in double blade depth up the middle. As the right-hander delivers, it is bunted down the first base line. Oh, it came up and in on him. That was a bit of a self-defense bunt as he bunted the ball and had to get out of the way. It looked like it was coming right into his head. So foul ball there as Nakagawa is in the hole now at 0-1. That ball had a lot of arm side run to it. I was saying earlier that I didn't really detect a lot of movement from either of the two pitchers, particularly not a lot of what on their fastball specifically, not a lot of light life. That pitch we can stand corrected on. That pitch was moving in a hurry on Nakagawa. Here's the pitch. He bunts it down the first baseline. It's a good one. It is fielded by Seymour. He throws not very well over to the second baseman, Oda, covering. As that ball looked like it could have been destined for right field, but they are going to be able to move the runner along, and they are going to get the out. It's a sacrifice 3-4. Nakagawa gone for the first out of the inning. Kanami over to second. And it's going to bring the catcher, Seishiro Sakamoto, to the plate. Well, for Sakamoto, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to third his first time up. As he stands in. As we said earlier, he is wearing the Captain C for the Tigers this season. Pitch on the way. Fastball comes in and almost hits him. Sakamoto does a 360. This is a guy you don't want to hit. This is a guy you want to swing the bat. He's 1 for 7 in exhibition play. Of course, he had spent a lot of his time with Samurai Japan. Not known for his offensive prowess. Known more for his defensive play. As the 1-0 pitch forthcoming. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander leans in and ready to deliver to the right-handed hitting catcher of the Tigers as the pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. If you just joined us, we are where we started. It is 0-0. The offense has been quiet in this one here tonight. But the Tigers do have a runner at second base with 1 gone here. And the 2-1 ready to go as they try the pickoff play at second base, but getting back in time is the base runner, Kanami. As I said, in the exhibition, we've seen the pickoff at second base a number of times, trying to keep them close more than anything. There will be a pinch hitter, it looks like, on deck for the Tigers. We saw this last night where they would use the pitcher in the first at bat of the game, and then he'll stay in the game, but they'll replace him. It looks like it is Itohara potentially on deck. And that's the pitch that is delivered, a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 2-2 on Sakamoto. Looking to see exactly where it is. It looks like it's Kento Itahara will come to bat. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and missed. That's going to retire Sakamoto. He's on strikes for the second out. And that is going to bring the pinch hitter, now DH, to the plate in Kento Itohara. Actually, don't necessarily mind this. You give the pitcher the token at bat in the first at bat, and then they keep the DH position with somebody else. They don't lose the pitcher. So Takashima looking to wiggle his way out of this jam. 81 pitches now for the right-hander, as it is going to be Kento Itahara striding to the dish, the 33-year-old. This spring is 4 for 14. He's hitting .286 with no homers and 3 RBIs. As the right-hander holds to the set, here comes the first offering. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses outside for ball. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Last night, it was Eleuterios Montero who had a pinch hit at bat. And after Montero, they rode a number of players, I believe, through that spot in the batting order. That was for the Carp. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Right-hander checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball swung on, popped up down the first base line. Giving chase is Seymour, but he's going to watch it sail over top of the netting and into the seats. And the count now is even at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Right now, if you took the under through the first 5 innings, if they are putting the over-under, you're grinning like the Cheshire Cat because there was no score here. I'm not even sure what the over-under would be for this one either. I didn't even take the time to look. Exhibition games are just, at least in my opinion, so hard and so variable to have to make predictions on. I know our friend Demon Slayer, who was in here a couple of weeks ago, and he loves the baseball at this time, but exhibition stuff is just too much of a wild card for me. Breaking ball misses up and away. Count goes to 2-1. Our friend Michael Hooks, who has been in our streams as well, into the baseball stuff, but definitely not something that I can do that. Gracie Lynn says the under 3.5, if that's what it was for the ball game, I'm not surprised. I wonder what it was for the first 5. First 5, you're cashing in on the under as of this moment. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on, and it's going to be pop foul over on the third base side. The count now goes to 2-2. One thing I'm curious about, though, is the television. I see a lot more people are now using YouTube through their televisions. Been noticing that, especially on our analytics, when you start to look at the end of the games, a lot of people have not just the games, but just in general, whatever we put forward, even the short videos are looked at through that as well. Here's the 2-2 pitch. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball swung on, and another one pop foul into the seats on the third base side. The count remains at 2-2 to Itohara. Not really complaining about it. I just kind of find it interesting if that's maybe more of a trend of what we're witnessing. And that could be the case. Our friend Gracie says it might show up as mobile because she casts it to her TV. Yeah, that could happen too. Some people do that. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the third base side. Sometimes if I'm not doing a game, but I want to watch a game, I'll run it through I got a HDMI cable, and I run it through either my laptop or my tablet through the television. Able to listen to it, or I sit back and watch and do it that way if I'm not actually calling something. Here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander works himself again to the set. This is turning into a bit of a battle here. This is pitch number 7 of the at-bat. Pitch on the way. Fastball, just misses down. So says the home plate umpire. That's going to run the count to 3-2 on Itohara. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. And just a reminder, if you guys are back around later in the week, we will put up our schedule, as we say, opening night, Friday in the middle of the night. You can always listen on delay if you have to. And then we'll come back and do the game on Saturday evening, late Saturday evening, and then we'll take the Sunday game off as we'll be down in the Seattle area. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses outside. It's going to be ball 4. Itohara aboard with a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second with 2 gone, and it's going to bring the pitching coach on a full trot out of the Buffaloes dugout. As it is going to be Koji Chikamoto coming to the plate. They're going to see how they're going to deal with him. He is a tough guy to double or to get on the trail side. So that's Suzawa out onto the hill here to have a discussion with his pitcher. As far as I'm concerned, you probably are looking at a force at any base, which we do know is an effect. But as I said, the speed of Chikamoto may put that into play as well. The runners that are on, Kanami and Itohara, they move pretty good. Itohara not as well as he used to. Chikamoto tonight has flown to right and flown to center. So officially 0 for 2 in this one. Batting from the left side, as we said, the pride of Hawaii Island. We mentioned that earlier on. I remember being on Hawaii Island, and they had posters up all over the place celebrating his time with the Tigers, as that is a changeup missing down and away. If I remember correctly, Chikamoto's story, he had come out of the industrial leagues. He was not a high school phenom or a college player that was, took him out of the industrial leagues. And you see that sometimes in Japan. Players will be pitching there. The industrial leagues can be pretty darn good. That's actually probably the next thing I'd like to do is I'd like to try to get to some of those stadiums and catch a couple of their games. There's a breaking ball that drops in slowly for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Gracie Lynn said, are the Tigers on from that island? No, the Tigers play at the Koshin Stadium. It's just outside of Osaka. It's about a 20-minute train ride, but that is their home field, the Hanshin Tigers, where they play. Owaiji Island is just a little bit west of Kobe. It's actually an island. As that fastball misses down, it's now 2-1 to Chikamoto, and Chikamoto is from that island, just the area where he grew up and everything else. And of course, when you see those type of players and how they were and the pride of the people that live there, Chikamoto is a pride of that island. Island is connected by a bridge, and it takes you about maybe an hour and 10 minutes from Osaka to get there. There's the breaking ball that's swung on and grounded foul. It's usually by train and by bus. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The industrial leagues are exactly what they are. There's a number of teams like the Toyota, Mitsubishi, Kawasaki, I believe, also. And so it is guys that are, some guys have NPB experience. Some guys have minor league experience. Some guys have had college experience, and they play in the industrial leagues. Some of them are given jobs, like you would see in Europe. Fastball swung on and fouled away. For those who used to play rugby and Gaelic football, companies would sponsor teams. They would give them a job with their company. And what they would want to do is they want them to play baseball. And of course, if they can, give them a job or whatever to propel themselves, they get an opportunity to go back in. If not, they take them into their company for work. And that's kind of the payback. And that is how that sort of operates. It's what used to be done in North America years ago in some regards. You don't see that so much anymore. Fastball swung on, popped up on the left side of the infield. It's playable. Underneath it is Yuma Mune. He's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire the Tigers for the third out here in inning number 5. Well, they had threatened in this inning, did the Tigers. They had no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We are now halfway through this game. It is the Buffaloes and the Tigers locked at zeros. Bottom of the 5th is around the corner. If you took 0 in the over-under, you're grinning right now. You just got to hope that the Buffaloes stay off the board. We'll be back in just a few. Stay with us, everybody. It is the bottom of the 5th when we come back in a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. 95 pitches for the starter, Takashima. I wonder if his day will be over at that here today. Friend Gracie Lynn asked, would the industrial leagues be considered professional or amateur or something in between? And I would say the answer to that is yes. And I'll build on that in just a couple of moments. As the first pitch from Ihara is delivered to Kai Nakagawa. It's a fastball missing down. Nakagawa, Seymour, and Kirby-Ashi to come to bat here in inning number 5. 5 for 30 in exhibition play is Nakagawa. As he swings at a fastball and lifts this one foul over on the first base side, the count is 1-1. So, in other words, kind of like in Europe, you'll have some players that will be on professional contracts. In other words, they're getting paid full time to play. Others will be employed by a company and they'll get their wages subsidized as there's a fastball that misses down, or maybe fully covered for by the company, but they get the time off of work to be able to perform the tasks. So, whatever their skill might be in the company or they're training them to do, they might be able to only really have to work a couple days a week during the season. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right field. Moving over underneath it with plenty of room and space is Morishita. He makes the catch, and Nakagawa's gone for the first out of the inning. And then there may be just some players who are outright that are amateur, not getting paid. And so that's the way it kind of works in Europe, is you got 3 tiers of players. Well, I would insinuate that the industrial leagues would work in a similar type of capacity to that, depending upon who the players are, also depending on who the sponsor is. Here's the first pitch to Bob Seymour. Fastball misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Manny Mike says, do we have a P.O. box? Something says you need a candle. And the Caballero candle brand. I'm not sure what that is. There's a fastball that misses down. The count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Gracie Lynn says, never heard anything of that in Europe. That sounds pretty cool. Well, that is the baseball in some of the leagues in Europe. And you can ask me about that because it's exactly what happens. There's a ground ball hit over to second, fielded by Nakano, and they throw to first. That's going to retire Seymour on a ground out, 4-3. He's gone for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Kitaro Kobayashi. Actually, I don't have a P.O. box, but we'll be able to come up with something, I'm sure. Man, I do actually. Actually, I do in the United States, so I could have you send it domestically. That would be fantastic. There's a breaking ball that messes up, and the count is 1-0. But the thing is, Manny, I'm going to have to, next time you're in the stream, I'll make sure I write it out. And it is in Blaine, Washington, and I'll have to give you all the rest of the information. I don't know it off the top of my head. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted down the left field line, and it is just going to hook foul. And the count goes to 1-1 on Kobayashi. He says it's the brand behind the logo. Let's do it. Okay, next time you're in my stream, I will put it aside for you, and I will let you know exactly all the rest. The thing is you also have to let me know when you send it out. Fastball misses down and in. The count is 2-1. A reason for that is I don't always get down to pick it up very often. And basically, when it's received, I've got 30 days to get there. Ground ball hit over to third, fielded by the third baseman Sato. He fires to first, and Kobayashi is gone. It's a ground out, 5-3. And that is going to do it here as the inning is over. And so is the bottom of the fifth. And if you got 0 for the runs through 5 innings, you're grinning like the Cheshire Cat. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are through 5 complete. Your score is the Buffaloes nothing and the Tigers nothing. We're going to take our little break here because it's time for me to refresh our beverage. I'm thinking maybe it is going to be Montpellier lemon carbonated water and maybe some cranberry juice tonight. That might be something a little bit different that I don't usually do. So hang tight, everybody. We'll put the music on loop, and we'll be back in just a few. It is the top of the sixth, just around the corner. We are at 0-0, and we'll be back in just a few right after this musical timeout. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the top of the sixth inning, just around the corner, and we're going to get you caught up here on a little bit of the out-of-town scores, as all of the other games, or there are other games tonight in the NPB. Everything is currently underway. Bottom of the fifth inning, it is the Fighters with a 1-0 lead over the Swallows. That is at the Escon Field in Hokkaido. The Balluna Dome in the top of the sixth inning, Lions have a 1-0 lead over the Bay Stars. Bottom of the second inning, Eagles are leading the Giants 1-0 at the Tokyo Dome. At the Vantolin Dome in Nagoya, it is 4-0 Dragons over Marines. And in the top of the third inning, the Hawks have a 3-2 lead over the Carp in that one. Well, there you have it. And of course, here we are locked at zeros. Somebody has yet to score a run. And our friend Gracie Lynn said, yeah, will they let you take a candle across the border? The answer to that is yes. But it depends on the border. So, for example, if you're trying to go through the Windsor-Detroit border, across the bridge or through the tunnel, or if you're trying to go over the Blue Water Bridge between Sarnia and Port Huron, no, you can't take it because you're going across a bridge or through a tunnel. If you are going off a land crossing, like you would see in British Columbia to Washington State, or in places like Alberta to Idaho, there is nothing that can be done with that in terms of, yeah, you can take it across. It's not an issue. There's no structures that you're taking it over or through. So that is okay. We do have a pitching change. And of course, the rules have been changing recently. So who knows what is going on. It is going to be Sachiro Yamazaki who is coming on in relief. So he will take over here for the starter. Taito Takashima, his day is done. And the first thing I notice when I look at Yamazaki here, I don't know, maybe I have to go back and have a look, but so Ichiro Yamazaki looks like he has slimmed down as well. I was talking about the DH in Sugimoto, but Yamazaki, it looks like he has also picked up the training portion and trimmed down a little bit. And the first pitch is on the way to Takuma Nakano. It's a fastball missing upstairs. It's Nakano, Morishita, and Sato slated to come to bat here in inning number 6. Our friend Gracie says, what's the difference between land and a bridge? Bridge is structural. Land is nothing. There's nothing there. You're just going across a road from one side to the other. So 1 ball and 1 strike as that pitch to Nakano was fouled away. As Yamazaki ready to go again. As he works himself into the set position, here comes the 1-1. And the pitch on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into deep right field. And starting back, but now moving underneath it is Haruka. He's there to make the catch. And Nakano is going to be retired for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the right fielder Morishita. Gracie Lynn says, I know that, but does it have an effect on bringing something across? Yeah, well, that's what I said. The bridge is structural. You could, in essence, in theory, it could be blown up. Whereas a land crossing, there's nothing to destroy particularly other than maybe the booths, but that's not really the case. I mean, but again, the rules have been changing rapidly. But, usually bridges and tunnels, you can't take some of that stuff. It's like flammables. As that swing is check swing fouled away and the count is 0-1. Flammables coming, you're not supposed to bring a jerry can with you for gas to fill it up when you go to the other side of the border. As the 0-1 is on the way, fastball swung on it, is lifted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble, and this ball is going to be off the wall. Nishikawa picks it up as Morishita digs for 2, and he's going to cruise in safely with a stand-up double, and he puts himself into scoring position with 1 out. And that is going to bring the third baseman Teraki Sato to the plate. I have to tell you, that ball off of the bat of Morishita didn't look like he got it all. And he didn't, but it carried and carried and carried. It ended up hitting up the fence about 2/3 of the way. So a lot stronger than I thought. Nice swing by him. As he is at second with a 1-out double, that is going to bring Sato to the plate. Sato 0 for 2 tonight, has struck out and grounded out. Gracie Lynn said, well, what happens if you don't get your item within 30 days? Well, I'll explain that in a moment, too. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. So what a lot of people do to save on shipping, because if you ship from the United States up into Canada, or if you ship from Canada down to the United States, it is super expensive. And so what people will do is if they go on vacation or they're taking a bit of a holiday and they got to mail something to a friend or a relative or whatever it might be, they'll mail it from the States. A lot easier, just as they'll receive something from the States. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2 on Sato. And so the way the company works is you don't actually have a P.O. box. What they do is they have a building and they have a bunch of lockers of a variety of sizes. And then they might have maybe 200 lockers, 500 lockers, whatever it is. And your item gets shipped into that address as the 0-2 pitch is ready to come. Fastball swung on and missed, and Sato is down on strikes for the second out of the inning. 2 in the books. It's going to bring up Yusuke Oyama. So what basically happens is they ship it to the spot in the States or in Canada, depending what side of the border that you're on, and they would receive it and they would put it into a locker. And once they put it in the locker, you get texted a code. You go over, you type your code in, the locker opens up, it gives you entrance to the building. Then you have to type in a code for the locker opens up, and then you collect your shipment. It can be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're there in the daytime, they have humans that will work with you. Split finger swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Oyama. So if you're, say, for example, ordering new shoes, and in the States, they'll sometimes say in an order, free shipping within the United States if you order $100 or more. If you got a $100 order, $150, you get it shipped into the States, and the next thing you know is you don't have to pay for the duties because you're just bringing it back, and you got what you wanted to buy online or whatever, and you're good to go. Split finger pitch misses down to Oyama. The count's 1-1. Yeah, our friend Manny Mike, who says cutter butter. Well, exactly, that's the problem. So that'd be the easiest thing to do is to send it that way. And then when I go down to the States, especially this time of the year, usually from September until March, I don't head down at all. As there's a split finger pitch that swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. Now, the other piece to this is I understand that there was a landslide south of Bellingham, Washington. And so the road right now, certainly the northbound of I-5 is blocked off. I don't know about southbound. So if I do go down, I'm going to have to look for an alternative route, maybe a Chuckanut Drive or some other way to have to get through that pass. There's a couple of ways, but there's certainly not the interstate, and that could be a potential hassle. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Right-hander delivers. It's a fastball swung on, popped up down the left field line. Giving chase is Yuma Mune, but that ball is just going to reach the seats. And the count remains at 1-2. Yeah, so that becomes an issue and a problem is, sending it across the borders, everything else. I used to do a lot of shipping going back 25 years ago. I used to know all the ins and outs. Of course, I used to live, 5-minute ride to the border. and was able to know a lot of this stuff. But the governments come in on both sides of the border. They always are changing their forms and their paperwork. You almost need to have a Harvard law degree to be able to interpret some of their changes, which don't make sense for everyday people, especially if you're importing and exporting. Here's the 1-2. Fastball misses outside, and the count is 2-2. So I can't even give advice or even comment on some of that stuff anymore because I don't do it as much as I used to. Not even close. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander Soichiro Yamazaki ready to go again. Right-hander against the right-hander. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. It is a split-figure pitch swung on. Grounded softly to third. Mune fields it, side slings it to first. And Oyama's gone on a ground out 5-3. He's out for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here in the 6th for the Tigers. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. Our friend Samurai Prayer, who was in here earlier, said he figured there'd be a lot of scoring tonight, and we agreed. Well, I guess we're both wrong. That's the way she goes, as that is going to do it here in the 6th for the Tigers. We'll be back in just a few. It is 0-0. It'll be the 9 1-2 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes when we return after this timeout. Stay with us, everybody. Glad you're with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. We're just waiting for the announcement if there is a pitching change here for the Tigers, and I assume there will be. Our friend Gracie Lynn was telling us about the shipping from Costa Rica to the United States, as it will be a right-hander who is coming into the ball game. It is going to be number 51 taking over on the hill for the Tigers, and that number 51 is going to be Daiki Hayakawa. Will be the second pitcher used tonight. So Daiki Hayakawa on in relief here for the Hara. And so, yeah, sending the simplest stuff and the cost and all the rest of that stuff sometimes becomes a flat-out pain. As the pitch is a split-finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count is 0-1 to Kenya Wakatsuki. Wakatsuki does not have an official at bat tonight. He walked his first time up. He'll be followed by Mune and Hiruka. As both of these teams' bats look like they've been kept in the freezer overnight. It is a fastball missing down and in. Count goes even at 1-1. But I was begging our friend Gracie Lynn to send me some coffee from Costa Rica, maybe some Cafe Ray, and couldn't convince her to do it. Was willing to spend the money for the shipping, whatever it was that you needed to do it. So instead, when I went to Vietnam, I brought back 10 kilo, which is 22 pounds of coffee on my way back. I could bring back up to 20 kilo duty free. So I brought back that, and that is their coffee. It was pretty good. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count 1-2 to Wakatsuki. And because of the price that I got it at, where I live, a pound of coffee could sell anywhere from $23 to 60 some odd dollars a pound, depending on where you get it from, what it is, what kind of bean it is, all the rest. And I paid, I think it was like $6 a pound. So I pumping a fist, gave a bunch away as gifts. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball taken at the knees for a called third strike. Wakatsuki stood there and watched that one go by for out number 1, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Yumamune. Our friend Samurai Prayer says the Tigers play a lot of low-scoring games in the regular season, and it's already like that here. Yeah, they are getting themselves ready for that. We've only seen one attempted bunt tonight, and that was from Nakagawa, and after that, it's been just swing the bats, and I think that's probably par for the course. Here's the first offering to Mune. It's a split-finger pitch and misses down, and the count is 1-0. I haven't looked lately. I know that it's not always the Tigers because of the surface they play on. But my thought process is the Tigers, because they play at the Cochin Stadium, as there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, that they would actually have to, playing at the Cochin Stadium, it's all dirt infield. When you play on turf, a little bit different surface, and your defense is usually a lot smoother on the turf fields. Fastball taken for a called strike, counts 1 and 2. So I would think in a normal year that the Tigers will be one of the leaders in errors when they play the majority of their home games at the Cochin. Gracie Lynn said, yeah, about all the not being able to leave the country. There was a fastball swung on, grounded up the middle. It's going to be a base hit for Mune, his first hit of the night, so his hot spring continues. And he's got himself a single, and that is going to bring up the right fielder in Taishi Haruka. Gracie Lynn says not going to get refunded the form fees. Well, maybe next time bring it back to the United States with you when you come back, and then you can do it that way. I know when I was in Costa Rica, I brought back probably not as much coffee as I brought back from Vietnam, but I brought back about maybe 5 pounds of coffee. And then I know I was able within the country to be able to move it easier. So to friends and family and everybody else, and be able to share that with them that way. That might be something better rather than shipping it from Costa Rica. You just bring it back and you declare it. As not breaking balls, take it for a called strike, count as 0-1. I know that we are exempt on bringing back, I don't know, like 1,000. If you're away for 7 days or more, you can bring back $1,000 worth of goods duty free. I'm sure that's going to change with the inflation. There's a breaking ball missing down because that's not a lot of money these days. Count goes even at 1-1. Phil Cantelon in the house tonight. He says the Japanese season starts the day after the MLB season. So the 26th is when it starts for the MLB, as there are Thursday games this week, and the Japanese League will start on Friday, the 27th. So, Phil, hopefully you can make us in late night. Breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So, 2 balls and a strike. Gracie Lynn said, what's she going to do with 10 kilos? I wouldn't want 10 kilos. I would just want maybe a couple of pounds. That would be about it. 10 kilos, that would be a lifetime supply. I drink coffee. I just don't drink it as much. I'm more of a tea drinker than anything else, but I like a good Costa Rican coffee, and the coffee that I had in Vietnam, that is also a plus. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is to Haruka. Yeah, the Major League season gets going on Thursday. I was thinking of calling a game Thursday night, but I'm going to need to get some sleep before the middle of the night Japanese games that'll go off at 2 a.m. Pacific or 5 a.m. Eastern. Usually opening day is a big night for us on the stream, as we get a lot of people that come in that maybe don't always normally jump in. And that is what we would like to be able to do. So try to stay up. Thursday is going to turn in Friday. Normally Friday, I don't have to be anywhere. Unfortunately, next week I do at 9 in the morning. So I'll have to call the game and go right in to do some work. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Throw down to second. It is offline, and it has hit Yumamune square in the back as he's sliding into second. Oh, Mune, that is going to smart. So the throw down to second base, offline. It was going to sail into right field. And that is, wherever that is, it's a 2-2. It's got to run the count now, 2-2 to Haruka. Stolen base for Mune, but at a price as it drilled him right in the back. As the trainer is now to have a look at him. That'll slow your offense down. Get a heater in the back. The good news is I thought he took it on the bounce. Nope, he took it right between the number 6. Bang. There you go. And then he rolled around like a soccer player without getting a yellow card. So it looks like Mune is going to be okay, and that is going to keep the count at 2-2 to Haruka. Friday night games for opening day, Gracie. It's actually opening night maybe is more appropriate. Gracie Lynn says the Giants and the Yankees have a standalone game on Wednesday in prime time. I didn't actually realize that. I won't be calling that one, unfortunately. 2-2 pitch on the way. It is a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. The count is 2-2. I know that the Tigers open up their season in San Diego on the West Coast. I've often said that the northern teams really need to open up in the South. Don't come your home openers in the North. Unless you're in a dome stadium, shouldn't be until the second week of April. Get some nasty weather up north. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count goes to 3-2. So like teams like the Dodgers and the Angels and the Padres, the 2 Florida teams, the 2 Texas teams, should always be opening up at home, in my opinion. And the northern teams should be down there playing with them. Other parts of the country, you're going to get 50-50. Pitch on the way. Fastball taken for a called third strike. And Haruka knew it. He started walking back to the dugout. He must have been looking for something else. So 3-2 pitch. He goes down on strikes. And he's gone for out number 2. It's going to bring up Ryoma Nishikawa to the plate. Well, for Nishikawa, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded to short and popped to second. As our friend Samurai Prayer said earlier, already into the low-scoring games, and right here, back-to-back nights. Last night, 1-0 in the favor of the Tigers. And tonight, it is all square at zeros as we are in the bottom half of inning number 6. So the runner at second is Mune. It is Nishikawa coming to the plate, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Daiki Hayakawa has pitched very well so far in this inning. He's just got to get the one more out to keep it scoreless. Right-hander gets his sign from Sakamoto. He works to the set, now delivers. Fastball down. Nice stop by the catcher of the Tigers. Count is 1 ball and no strikes. Our friend Gracie Lynn says teams like the Cardinals and Reds have 75-year-plus traditions of games. Yeah, they could keep those, but the reality of it is I've seen games in Cincinnati in April, and it sucks. And you got after opening day, you got 2,000 fans in the stands for the second game because it's so cold. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. So at some point in time, you have to say, is tradition worth it? I mean, 75 years ago, the Angels didn't exist. 75 years ago, the Dodgers were still playing in New York. 75 years ago, the Padres didn't exist. 75 years ago, the Diamondbacks did not exist. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count goes to 2-1. So all these teams that are in the South, the Texas Rangers, the Houston Astros, 75 years ago, they didn't exist because everybody was playing baseball in the Northeast and the Midwest and not much else. San Francisco Giants, 75 years ago, were playing in New York around that time. Here's the 2-1 pitch. I can't exactly remember when the Giants made their move. 2-1 on the way. Fastball catches the inside corner for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I don't think Nishikawa liked that call. The way that he reacted to the home plate umpire telling the home plate umpire, hey, we got season starts in a few days. That's not going to be the right location. There's a split finger pitch swung on it. Is golfed into shallow left field. It's going to get down for a base hit, and that's going to get a run in. And the Buffaloes are going to open up the scoring as Yuma Mune comes in from second base on a cue shot off the bat of Nishikawa, as he's going to pick up an RBI here, and that is opening the scoring finally in this game. We got ourselves a run, as it is Mune who comes in. So the stolen base to get him into scoring position, and the bleeder base hit by Nishikawa gives the Buffaloes a 1-0 lead, and that is going to bring Ryo Oda to the plate. So it's not like they strung together a pile of hits and manufactured a run. If you would see that on the replay, it looked like he got his 9-iron out and chipped it right into left field. Well, that brings Oda to the plate. Oda tonight is 1 for 2, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. He's got himself a double in 2 trips. He's also popped out to second base. So no balls and 1 strike. Nishikawa, the runner at first. Keep your eye on him. See if they put him in motion. 0-1 on the way. Fastball taken for a called strike that caught the outside corner, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander against the right-hander. And the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oda doesn't like the call, much like Haruka and Nishikawa, the 2 batters before him. But nevertheless, he's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Buffaloes have opened the scoring here. 1 run in the inning, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We are now through 6 complete. Your score is the Buffaloes with a 1-0 lead over the Tigers. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action. We appreciate you guys for hanging in with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel tonight. Opening day is just a few days away, and we can't wait to bring it to you when it all gets going for real. We'll be back in just a few, right after this timeout. Well, we want to thank our friend Gracie Lynn for stopping in tonight. As everybody knows, when she leaves, that's when the game gets exciting. It's going to be Yoshi Hirano is coming on in relief. He's going to be the 3rd pitcher used by the Buffaloes, the one-time closer for the ball club. It looks like he may not be in that role any further, as he could be a more of a setup position, but a veteran nonetheless who knows how to get it done. Also a former big leaguer. He'd spent time with the Diamondbacks and the Mariners organizations. So Hirano ready to go. Well, we look forward to having you back, Gracie Lynn, later in the week. As the first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0 to Seiya Kaname. Kaname is 1 for 2 tonight. And thanks again to Gracie Lynn. We'll catch you later in the week and when I'm back on the West Coast. So 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-0 to Kaname. Right-hander against the left-hander. As Hirano ready to deliver. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Hirano looking to throw a strike. As I said, when Gracie Lynn leaves, that's when all heck breaks loose. There's a fastball finally thrown for a strike. Count is now 3-1. We'll see if the tradition upholds itself here in 2026. Hirano behind here to the hitter at 3-1. And the pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and hammered foul just past the dugout. And where that temporary seating is, the count goes to 3-2. It ricochets back out onto the field. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. When this one is over, we'll give you the full recap and also the rundown from all the other action around the NPB. Full slate of games all pretty much going on right now. 3-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. Into the seats over the left field line above that netting. And it remains the 3 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the 7th, 1-0 for the Buffaloes as Hirano delivers a breaking ball. It's taken for a called third strike. Oh, and Hirano likes that one. He looks with an amused look as he's walking around the mound. As that is going to retire Kanami, so it's a two-way street. So the Buffaloes player is not happy with the home plate umpire. Now it's the Tigers' turn to be unhappy with the home plate umpire. And that's going to bring Hayato Nakagawa to the dish. And Hirano ready to deliver here as he works to the set. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, popped up over on the left side of the infield. It's playable. Camping out underneath it is Yumamune, and he's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Nakagawa on the first pitch that he sees. So he's in the books for out number 2, and that'll bring up the catcher in Seishiro Sakamoto. Well, for Sakamoto tonight, he is 0 for 2. He has grounded to third and struck out in his 2 trips to the plate. As the right-hander Hirano kicks and delivers a breaking ball that misses well outside. The count is 1-0. I wonder how much Hirano's got left in him. He's not a young guy, and he is, as I said before, at the back of his career. As the pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 1-1. He just turned 42 years old. As the right-hander kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The count goes to 1-2. And of course, his velocity not as what it once was. We mentioned originally he made his debut for the Arizona Diamondbacks back in 2018 and 19. I remember seeing him pitch in Arizona, and I remember having a conversation with one of the scouts of the Diamondbacks, who I knew at the time. There's a fastball that misses up. It's now 2-2. And I said, is it worth it to sign Hirano? And he said, absolutely. The production that they were able to get out of Hirano in 2018, for the amount that they gave him to come over, absolutely fabulous. 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. You think about it, he has 250 career saves in the NPB. As a record at 56 and 78. He was 9-9 in the big leagues. His ERA was a little bit high, 3.69, but it got fluffed up at the end. His second year, back end of the Diamondbacks and with the Mariners weren't as good as that first year. There's a ball that's chopped foul over on the third base side. And one of the things is he got a pitcher with a different look. The league doesn't have a book on him. They haven't seen him. And so for him to be able to get around and have success in that first year, once the league gets onto you, then you've got to be able to adjust back, and he wasn't able to do that. There's a fastball swung on. It's taken on one hop by the shortstop, Kirbiashi. Fields it, throws across the diamond, and Sakamoto gone on a ground out, 6-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Tigers in their half of inning 7. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom half of inning number 7. It is 1-0 for the Tigers. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Drafts Baseball YouTube channel. We'll come back and chat with the chat more after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change as the Hanshin Tigers are going back to their bullpen. It is going to be number 54. This is Rito Kinoshita taking over here. He will be the third pitcher used tonight for the Tigers in this one. So Rito Kinoshita onto the hill. And he will be facing, it's going to be Tomoya Mori coming up. He's pinch hitting for Sugimoto. And the first pitch to Mori is a fastball swung on a miss. Traditionally, when Mori comes to the plate, you got to anticipate he's going to be swinging at the first pitch, and he does there, and he swings right through it. So he is in the hole at 0-1. Pitch on the way to Mori is a fastball that misses down and inside, and the count now is even at 1 ball and a strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Our friend Samurai Prayer says the Tigers have got to get some runs. Absolutely. They're running out of outs. Fastball swung on and grounded softly over to second. Fielded by Nakano. He throws to first, and Mori's going to be retired on a ground out 4-3 as he goes in the books for out number 1, and it's slated to bring up Kai Nakagawa. That's one thing that, I'm not saying it bothers me all the time, but one thing about the Japanese league that you see with a lot of players is that they will sometimes not touch the bag. It's in Major League Baseball, they have an unwritten rule. As the first pitch fastball misses up and away to Nakagawa, it's 1 ball and no strikes. Nakagawa has flown to right field twice tonight. Unwritten rule that if you had a ground ball in the infield, you got to at least touch the base at first base. You don't get to cut off at the 45-foot stripe. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. The count is 1-1. And I see it in the Japanese league a lot. Guys don't run it out all the way, don't touch the base. That's what you need to do every time. And I'm not saying you got to run out particularly hard, as that seems to have gone by the wayside in Major League Baseball. As there's a fastball that's belted into left field for a base hit. Nakagawa is aboard for the first time tonight with a single. But the observation is that you got to at least touch the base. And that is a bit of a problem that you witness is guys sometimes don't do it. It's the etiquette of the game, and certain cultures are a little bit different. And that's something that we pick up on in the Japanese game. So runner at first with 1 gone. It is going to bring Bob Seymour to the plate. And so for Seymour, he has a single and 2 trips. And the pitch is a split finger pitch missing down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Seymour, 7 for 39 in exhibition play. He's raised his average to $1.79. The player that I kind of liked, I say I liked them in with the Buffaloes, was Cedeno. As there's a split finger pitch taken for a called strike, counts 1-1. And he had moved over to play with the Lions last year. And Cedeno gave the Buffaloes some power punch off the bench, especially when he was teaming up with Yumatongu over there at first base. Did not have a very good year with the Lions last year. I don't know if he's going to have a job anymore in professional baseball in Asia. I haven't really looked up to see where he's at or what he is doing. As that split finger pitch is swung on and fouled off into the feet of Seymour, and the count goes to 1-2. Sometimes you see that players, well, this is their last chance. They can either bounce back to the States, they can stay. You think of some players, I think of Brandon Laird and Leonis Martin certainly Laird had about an 8-year career playing in Japan. Fastball misses up and away. Count goes to 2-2. Probably the best decision of his career. He was a star over there and people liked him. You think of different players over the years like Carl Tuffy Rhodes went on, had a way better career playing in Japan than he ever could imagine playing in the United States. As the 2-2 pitch is ready to come. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses inside. It runs the count now to 3-2. Some players, they use it as a bounce back. I don't know what Tyler Nevin will do. Tyler Nevin had a good year last year. If he has another good year this year, he's still young enough. Will somebody in Major League Baseball offer him a contract to come back? Or does he become one of those players that says, you know what, I've had the opportunity. I'm going to make a certain amount of money in Japan, stay here, and play the rest of my career in Asia. Here's the 3-2. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side. The runner was on the move, so they're going to stay out of the double play. It's going to be a ground out 4-3, and that is going to retire Seymour. Advancing over to second is Nakagawa, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Kotaro Kobayashi. And again, it depends on what's offered and how much money and somebody willing to stay and play, and who knows. I had a former pitcher of mine is playing in the KBO. I looked him up. His salary there for 1 year is almost $500,000. I think it's 467,000 US. The most you can get paid is $1 million in the KBO if you're an import player. Well, we have a pinch hitter at the plate, and the first pitch delivered, I think it's Noguchi. I'll just double check my lineup here. It is Tomoya Noguchi, as he is hitting for Kobayashi. So no balls and 1 strike. As Kobayashi's day is done. So right-hander against the left-hander. As Noguchi waits on the pitch. And it is a fastball that misses down from Kinoshita, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Our friend Phil Cantillon says if he likes it, and he's a star, why not? Yeah, you might be able to get yourself, and I think, what is he now, 27 or 28? So he's entering the prime of his career. Fastball taken on the inside corner for called strike. The count's 1-2. And, you got to make some decisions. You got to say, hey, am I going to get paid? Can I play there? I'd like to see what he does this year if he trajects up with his numbers. Goes out, has another good year. I like what the Lions have done in the offseason. I think they're going to be a much better club than they were last year, because 2 years ago they were absolute trash. Even with the loss of Imai, I think they're going to be better. Fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 1-2 to Tomoya Noguchi. Yeah, and the bottom line is getting paid. And then the other thing is what we don't often know is he going to be able to get himself a sponsorship over there? Sometimes there are players that will get sponsorships. Is there any sponsorship money for an American player like Nevin if he's popular? And maybe somebody pays him some money. Maybe that adds on to his, net worth. I mean, you think of Shohei Ohtani, how many things he sponsors. Well, I wonder if his brand is as big as his contract. Here's the 1-2. Fastball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side, and it's going to be 1-2. Shohei Ohtani, probably, I don't know if he's ever met Michael Jordan, but that's the guy you want to have a sit down with if you're the likes of Shohei. For your brand imaging, like Jordan, you still see his products out there. He's been retired, what now, for 20 years, 25 years? And you see the Jumpman product with Nike. Well, Shohei, hopefully he's got something like that. He'll be able to ride this wave out for the next 25 years. He's never going to have to work a day in his life after his baseball career is done. And he's going to have the endorsements still rolling in. There's a split finger pitch missing down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. You don't hear a lot of kids who say that they know a lot of the old time players. Some guys will retire for 4 or 5 years, and the kids don't know, who's Miguel Cabrera. Don't know who Miguel Cabrera is. Don't know who some of the stars of the last few years have been, but they know who Michael Jordan is. They don't even never seen him play live. There's a fastball swung at it. It's going to break the bat. Up the middle it goes, and it gets by the glove of the shortstop, Kanami, into center field, but stopping at third is going to be Nakagawa. That broke the bat of Noguchi. Bat went almost as far as the ball, it seemed. But he's got himself a single. That's going to put runners on the corners, and it's slated to bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. We've been talking about this in the last couple 2-3 weeks. We've been watching games. We've seen an inordinate amount of broken bats, but it's where they're breaking. Some of them, it actually looks like a sword. It saws off in half. Some of them, they've been breaking a lot down closer to the handle, where you got a good solid 4 or 5 inches in your hand. And that's what we've been watching over the last couple of weeks. Well, that puts runners on the corners with 2 gone. And it brings Wakatsuki to the dish. He is 1 for 2 in the exhibition places, returning from Samurai Japan. And he takes a fastball down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Akatsuki batting from the right side. We'll see if the Buffaloes want to do some shenanigans here. We'll keep an eye on Noguchi. He can run a little bit. 1-0 coming here to the right-handed hitting catcher, and there's a breaking ball down. The appeal over to first base, but they say he didn't go, and that runs the count now to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Our friend Harrison is back in the house. He's back, but he's a little bit late. But we're glad you're back, Harrison, as we are in the same time zone. So there's no excuse for you not to be up to be able to finish this game off with us, as it's 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side, fielded by the first baseman Oyama. He's going to step on the bag. Wakatsuki's gone on a ground out to 3, and that is going to do it for out number 3 here in the 7th inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 7 complete. It is the Buffaloes with a 1-0 lead. Stick around. Harrison says him and his girlfriend want to go to Japan after college. Why wait? Why not go over Christmas time? We'll be right back in just a few. Appreciate you for hanging in here with us. It is 1-0 for the Buffaloes over the Tigers. And we'll be back in just a few after this timeout.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Luis Perdomo taking over here on the hill for the Buffaloes, as he will be slated to face potentially Itohara, Chikamoto, and Nakano. We'll have to see if there will be changes. Defensively, there are changes for the Buffaloes, and we'll have to get that for you as we move along. It looks like they've got all kinds of different parts in the infield, but we will see where that takes us here in just a few. Perdomo ready to face Itohara, and the first pitch is a breaking ball missing outside. Count is 1-0. It is 6 outs to go here, and we would expect that maybe Machado will be in for the 9th. 4 for 14 in exhibition play is the left-handed hitting Itohara. That's a .286 batting average. No homers and 3 RBIs. Batting from the left side here against Perdomo, who is even the count at 1-1. The pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, chopped up the middle, fielded neatly by the shortstop. It looks like Noguchi throws to first, and I don't know what happened to the first baseman who's come in. It looks like he pulled something. Check out who the first. It looks like Oda has moved over to first. No, I think he's all right. So that's going to be a ground out, 6-3. That puts Itohara in the books. That's going to bring Koji Chikamoto to the plate. And for Chikamoto, he's 0 for 3. He has flown out twice and popped out once. Our friend Harrison says that Kyoto and Yokohama for study abroad at Temple University. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses for a ball, and the count is 1-0. wants to see the Bay Stars and the Buffaloes. As the 1-0 pitch is on the way, there's a fastball ticket for a called strike. I don't know. I bet you Bay Star tickets are going to be a little easier to get. I don't think that they're off season. They've got a lot of retooling that they've done over there. So their import players are going to have a different look and flavor this year. Fastball swung on, grounded to third. Mune juggles it, throws to first, and that is going to retire Chikamoto on a ground out 5-3. So he's in the books for out number 2, and that's going to leave it all up to Takuma Nakano. When I was in Ho Chi Minh City, I had a good chuckle. I think I got the picture somewhere on my phone, but they have a campus for Arizona State University on the Ho Chi Minh in Ho Chi Minh. So if you're going to ASU, as there's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike, the count is 0-1, we could be able to do a tour in Vietnam, literally. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The count now goes to 0-2 on Nakano. Nakano 2 for 3 tonight. He's got a single and a triple, and he's flown to right field in his 3 trips. Harrison says he really liked the signing of Hummel. We watched the Bay Stars on Friday night, and I got to say, Hummel is way more athletic than what he kind of looks like. He moves fairly well for a big fella. And I like the way that he swings the bat. I like the way he played defense. So, yeah, it might be a good signing. As that ball was chopped foul, and now it's still no balls and 2 strikes here. As the pitch is on the way from Perdomo, it's a fastball that just misses outside. Perdomo thought it was strike 3. The catcher thought it was strike 3. I thought it was strike 3, but the one that mattered was the home plate umpire, who said, no way, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So we'll go back and do it again as the right-hander again gets the sign. 2 gone here in the top of the 8th inning. Tigers running out of outs. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, chopped over the head of the pitcher, fielded on the backhand. They throw to first. Oh, it's going to retire Nakano on a ground out 4-3. What a great play that was, as it is no longer Oda at second base, as they had made their substitution, and that would be, as we hadn't picked it up initially, the second baseman who made that play was Oshiro. What a great play by him, and that is going to do it. They go in order to the Tigers. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of inning number 8. It is the Buffaloes 1, the Tigers no score. It is the exact same score as last night. The only difference is the Buffaloes have the lead. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging here with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Buddy, the Hanshin Tigers are going to their bullpen. It is going to be Yuya Ishiguro who is coming on relief. He is going to be the 4th pitcher used tonight. So Yuya Ishiguro on in relief. So our friend Harrison asks the 2 teams to see the first time you go to Japan, the Bay Stars and the Buffaloes, is it a good choice? Well, my answer to that is no, and there may be other people who would chime in on it. The team that you would want to see first, or I would want to see first play, not because they're good, is the Swallows. The Swallows Stadium at the Jingu is supposed to be torn down here in the next year. By the way, we've got wholesale changes. There are 4 positional changes for the Tigers. We'll have to get them as they come to bat. Chikamoto's day is done. He's no longer in center field. They have a new second baseman and a new catcher. And as I say, we'll have to get that as they're updated. It is the top of the order, Mune, Haruka, and Nishikawa to come to bat. So I was saying about they're supposed to be tearing down the Jingu Stadium. They're going to be using it as a development. Apparently the Swallows are going to be evicted, so to speak. Their nest is going to have to move somewhere else as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. And I know there were a lot of people up in arms because the stadium is over 100 years of history. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig all got a chance to play there. So that would be a cool piece because that's a place you want to go before the stadium is demolished. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count now is 0-2. Then the other one you want to go see is the Koshin Stadium where the Hanshin Tigers play. That stadium celebrated, I believe it was last year, the 100th anniversary of the Koshin. And you want to be able to go there. That's a hollowed ground in to see games. Fastball lifted down the left field line, and it's going to keep the count at 0-2 to Mune. And you might be able to see your teams that you would like to see there, but at the same time, you're going to the grounds to see those grounds because, as I say, they are kind of what I would say by standard. A lot of people like the Tokyo Dome. I'm not impressed with the Tokyo Dome as there's a fastball swung on. It's lined over the head of the shortstop, Kaname, into left field, and Mune is going to be bored with a leadoff single. That's his second hit of the ball game. That's going to bring Taishi Haruka to the plate. So other places that I would look to say that are kind of neat. The next one on my list would be the Hiroshima Carp, where they play. That stadium, the Mazda Stadium, is an absolute beautiful stadium, and I believe it's the most modern and the newest park. I personally like the stadium in Kobe where the Buffaloes play, and that they don't play there. They only play, I think, 3 or 4 series a year there as their home park. We do have a pinch hitter coming up to bat here for the Buffaloes. This is going to be number 5, Masahiro Nishino. He is going to be batting for Haruka. So Nishino ready to face the right-hander who delivers a first pitch splitter that misses down and in. And so it's 1 ball and no strikes. Ishiguro having some challenges here as he's given up a base hit, and now he's fallen behind here to Nishino at 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander ready to deliver again. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses down and away. Count now goes to 2-0. So our friend Harrison says, so like if you want to see the 2 teams you mentioned, go see them on the road. But the Buffaloes at Horomoto Field in Kobe would be neat to see rather than the Kyocera Dome in Osaka. Because the Kyocera Dome and the Tokyo Dome, to me, are just domes. It's, just something that you can go to watch. There's a ball popped up into shallow center field, charging hard, and there to make the catch is the center fielder for the Tigers. As we said, Chikamoto is gone. As the new center fielder is Kaisi Okashiro. So Okashiro in to make that catch, and that is going to retire Nishino for the first out of the inning. And it's slated to bring out Ryoma Nishikawa to the plate. Nishikawa is 1 for 3 today. Single in 3 trips. Our friend CV in the house. Welcome, CV. Glad to have you popping in late night. Our friend Epiphany Card Collector was in the other night and said he was getting you out of trouble the other night. So I don't know what kind of trouble he was getting in there, CV, but I'm glad he's got your back. First pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Nishikawa. Harrison said it'll be the summer of 27. Well, again, you'll have to look at the schedule when it comes out in January. And you'll be able to plot your experience from there. 1-0 on the way. Breaking ball misses up, but the count is 2-0. I know when I was in Tokyo, the first time I went in the summer, I was able to knock off, was it 3 of the 5 stadiums in Tokyo? Or was it 2 of the 5? 3 of the 5. 3 of the 5 in that area. The only places I didn't get to the first time were to Chiba and to, as the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and missed. I didn't get to Chiba or to the Jingu Stadium. but I was planning to go back the next year, which I knocked them off at that point. I did get to Yokohama and the stadium where the Lions play. The stadium where the Lions play, I affectionately like it. That open air dome, it's a little different. They dropped the roof on it. It's an engineering marvel. They dropped the roof on the stadium. The stadium was, I don't know, about 40 years old. And then they decided, hey, let's put a roof on it. And it looks like a spaceship has landed. No air conditioning, and it's a good thing they do it because they do get a lot of rain there. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. The count goes to 2-2. Harrison says Temple University, Kyoto in 2027. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. My next kind of journey when I do Japan, it won't be this summer. It might be 2027. I want to get to the Sendai region. I'd like to see the Fighters and I'd like to see the Eagles. That would be on the hit list, both of those two teams at their stadium. So I really like the look of the Eagles Stadium and the Fighters Stadium in the Northeast. Of course, they're somewhat more east. And I made, I guess, an error that I made. I said the Carp is the most recent stadium, and that's not true. It's now the Fighters Stadium, Escon Field. The Carp would have been the most recent stadium before the Fighters. As the 2-2 pitch is ready to come on the way, fastball swung on, lifted into left field, and that is going to slice foul just down the line, and the count remains at 2-2 to Nishikawa. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's the bottom of the 8th inning here, and the Buffaloes are clinging to a 1-0 lead. They're looking to add to more here. Runner at first is Mune. There is 1 gone here in the inning. Nishikawa batting with 1 gone, as we said. And the 2-2 pitch ready to come here from Ishiguro. Right-hander delivers. Breaking ball just misses outside, and the count now goes full to Nishikawa. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander again, the leaning in. As we are ready to go, the new catcher for the Tigers is Sakeda, Yuki Sakeda. He has taken over for Sakamoto. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Coming in and underneath it with room to make the catch, Nakagawa. And retreating back to first is Mune. So Nishikawa gone for the 2nd out of the inning. And that's going to leave it up to the now first baseman, Ryo Oda. Oda started the ball game at 2nd base, and he got moved over when the substitutions were made. I guess it all depends on how long you're going to be in that area. I mean, getting to the Jingu Stadium, going from Kyoto to Tokyo or that area is going to be a little bit of a haul. You'd have to take a regular train to Osaka, which is only 20 minutes away. And then you got to get on to the Shinkansen. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. But one thing you should look at, too, if you're in the country in Japan, they had a deal with ANA or JAL. I think it's this year. And they've done it from time to time in other years where if you fly in using one of those 2 airlines, you can get domestic flights for like $50 or $75, but that you have to fly in with their airline. And you can get other flights, and you have to take them not from Tokyo to Osaka, but you got to take it, say, from Tokyo up to Hokkaido, or Tokyo to Fukuoka, or Osaka to, I don't know, maybe Kanazawa. But you should look into that, as that breaking ball had missed to Oda. The count is 2-0. As the pitch is ready to come, a kick and deliver. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. Our friend CV says high-speed rail advanced. There's 2 balls and 1 strike. Oh, the high-speed, the Shinkansen, the high-speed rail in Japan, hard to beat. I've been on the Eurostar in Europe, and I've been on the Shinkansen. I don't know. I'd say probably even Steven, at least on the routes that I've went. So I got no complaints about either of them. You can really boogie along on the Shinkansen. And the ride is smooth. There's a fastball swung on it. It is lifted into deep left field. moving back, and now underneath it is Nakagawa. He makes the catch just in front of the warning track, and Oda is going to be gone for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the eighth. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. The top of the ninth is around the corner, and the big boppers are slated to come to the stick. It's going to be Morishita, Sato, and Oyama when we come back in just a few. 1-0 is your score. We appreciate you guys for hanging in on the Last Routes Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Morishita, Sato, and Oyama slated to come to bat. We are just waiting on the official pitching change here for the Buffaloes, but my guess it's going to be Andres Machado who will be coming in here. Machado, of course, had himself a little bit of a struggle in the World Baseball Classic as he had served up a 2-run bomb to Bryce Harper to tie the ball game, but the Venezuelans were able to bail him out, and they did get the victory of 3-2 in that final. They were just waiting for this. 1 run, 8 hits, no errors for the Buffaloes. No, it's not going to be Machado. My mistake. It is going to be number 15 for the Buffaloes coming in. It is going to be Ren Mikinoki. So he, the 26-year-old, is going to be entrusted to try to save this one here. So Machado, have a seat. And it is going to be Mukinoki trying to finish this one out. So the young right-hander ready to go, and he's got a tough spot in the batting order that he's going to have to face. As we mentioned, it is slated to be Morishita, Sato, and Oyama. We'll see how this all plays out. As Morishita steps in, and the first pitch ready to come here from the right-hander. As he kicks and delivers a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. Morishita couldn't believe it based on his reaction. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He has doubled in his 3 trips and struck out the other times. Our friend Harrison says, is Yokohama worth it? I like Yokohama. That would be another one in there as well, another stadium to see. But the stadiums that I would put to the last, there's a fastball swung on and grounded through the 6-hole into left field. And Morishita has himself another base hit. He's aboard with a single. I'm just going to bring up the third baseman, or slated to bring up the third baseman in Teriyuki Sato. As Morishita gets a hand, his night is going to be over. As we will have a runner for him. Yokohama is an interesting stadium as well, so if you get a chance to see that, that would be on the list. But the stadiums for me, the Tokyo Dome, the Osaka Dome, or the Kyocera Dome in Osaka, and probably the Vantolin Dome. And if they would have played at the old Sapporo Dome, those would have been 4 domes that I would have been least interested in seeing. The first pitch is a fastball that almost hits Sato, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Sato tonight, 0 for 3, struck out twice, and he's grounded out in his 3 trips. The pinch runner is Takahiro Kumagai, who was in to run for Morishita. And the 1-0 pitch on the way, fastball swung on and missed. And now the count runs even to 1-1 on Sato. Be interesting to see who they are going to be putting into the outfield in the next innings for the Tigers. Of course, they have potentially to play defense here. They throw to first, and they almost pick off Kumagai as he goes diving back to the bag safely. It's still 1 ball, 1 strike to Sato. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander again working himself into the set position. Pitch on the way. It is a split-figure pitch missing down. It runs 2-1 to Sato. Well, Mukanoki has got himself in a difficult spot with the difficult part of the order. So we have 2 balls and 1 strike. Right-hander leans in, getting the sign from his catcher. And he's ready to deliver. Here comes the 2-1. Fastball swung on and line foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Harrison says he's using Sports Navi. Yeah, Sports Navi is great. I don't know if you can use the app. I can't download the app, but I use the online portion. Yeah, it gives you a lot of information. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is to the right-hander, or to the left-handed hitting Sato. The right-hander delivers. There goes the runner down to second. The throw, it's down. Is it in time? No, it's going to be a stolen base, and Kumagai is in there safely. I want to see if they're going to take a look at it, and then they are. So the manager, Kashida, off the bench quickly, signaling that he wants to have a look at this. The tag was definitely not near the base. The tag was further down the body of the player as he went into the bag head first, and the umpire is going to go over and get on the blower and have a word here. We're going to see if indeed, first time tonight we've had a challenge that I can recall. We haven't seen the replay yet ourselves. The throw wasn't that bad as the challenged runner. It's no longer Wakatsuki behind the plate. Did he get it down in time? From that angle, it didn't look like it. We got the outfield angle. And it's worth a look because, you've got all your challenges. No, I think he's going to be safe. I think this call is going to stand. I think the umpire's got it right. And I don't think it's going to be all that long for them to have to make the call here. So let's see if I'm going to come back again. We got an overhead view this time that tells us absolutely nothing. Yeah, you tagged him, but did he get there in time? I think the view from home plate area might be the one that's going to be the best, and I think he's safe. So we'll have to wait on this here. Our friend Harrison giving us the updates from around the NPB. So we are waiting here, and here comes the umpire, and it is going to be a safe call. So they're letting them know they got 1 challenge remaining. So it is a stolen base for Kumagai. So he moves into scoring position, and it's right now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Sato as that last pitch was out of the zone. So they do have some defensive replacements now for the Buffaloes in the left field. It is number 0. That's Watanabe. And it looks like it's Mugatani who is in right field. So here comes the 3-2 pitch to Sato as they deliver. It's a breaking ball, waved at and missed. Sato. The spring here, return to the Tiger lineup is not bringing good things. He's gone for the 3rd time tonight via strikes. He's out for number 1, and that's going to bring Yusuke Oyama to the plate. Our friend CV says, what's my opinion about all the American whining excuses about losing? Well, to be honest with you, it's a deeper piece than what we just witnessed there. I don't understand why CV, a guy like Tarek Skubal, is named to the roster and he gets a start against Great Britain. As that pitch misses down, the count is 1-0. I also think it's the agents and the teams. If Major League Baseball is going to sponsor an event like that, you got to have everybody on board. That's all your teams, all your agents, everything like this. Otherwise, if it's just 50-50 and guys are leaving to go back to spring training, you can't tell me pitching against the Colorado Rockies in spring training for somebody is going to be more important than pitching in a classic. Don't get it. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 2-0. And I think that the players in some ways want to play, but it's the agents who jump in and have other things to have to say about that. So I actually do think some of the players want to play. I do think they do care. I think the problem is the investment. And we saw it with the Puerto Ricans where they were talking about the insurance was a problem for them before the tournament started. Shouldn't be any problem. If you're coming with your players wherever they're playing from, that's got to be sorted out before you host a tournament like that. And it may not be on the federation. It might be on Major League Baseball because they're the ones that are hosting it. Ground ball hit over the third base side, and the count goes to 2-1 on Oyama. So that's my one take on that. And I think before they run another tournament, they got to figure these things out before you start doing it. And you got 3 years in which to do it, so don't make the same mistake again. Make a new mistake. Yeah, recalling players, replacing limits. There's pitch counts in the tournament, and they're taking guys out at 65 pitches. Here's the 2-1. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes to 3-1. I mean, you're watching the Japanese exhibition game here, and, your starting pitcher for the Buffaloes goes 90-plus pitches tonight. You got to have your guys ready. I can understand the first round. You say, hey, we're going to limit 65 pitches. Second round, you increase it to 80. Next round, you increase it to 95. What's the problem? Aren't you building them up like you would for a regular season anyway? Don't understand it. Here's the 3-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. And the count now full to Oyama. Tigers threatening here in the ninth inning. They got a runner at second and one gone. They are trailing 1-0. And they're trying to squeak out the run here to tie it up. The Buffaloes, on the other hand, if they can shut it down here, will salvage a win in this 3-game set, as they lost the first 2 games of the series against their crosstown rivals. Finals were 6-2 and 1-0 in the first 2 games of the series. Here's the full count pitch. That's a split figure pitch, swung on and missed, and Oyama in the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and it's slated to bring up Seiya Kanami. And we'll keep our eyes peeled if maybe a pinch hitter coming up for him, because I think there's a whole host of other options on the bench. We'll wait and see here. So they're now down to their final out are the Tigers. As the right-hander ready to go, it is still going to be Kanami. He is 1 for 3 tonight, a single and 3 trips. Batting from the left side. As the pitch coming here from the right-hander. He checks the runner at second. And now he delivers. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. Counts 0-1. Our friend Samurai Prayer, who was in here early on, we were saying that it's going to be a higher scoring game tonight. I guess we were both wrong, as the score line here is the same as it was last night, 1-0. No balls and 1 strike to Kanami. Mukinoki trying to close it out here, the right-hander for the Buffaloes. He works himself to the set. He checks the runner at second. Pitch on the way. Split finger down in the dirt. And a nice stop there by the Buffaloes catcher. And it is Fukunaga who is now behind the plate. For the Buffaloes, that is Sho Fukunaga, as he took over for Kenya Wakatsuki. So we got to count a 1 ball and 1 strike. Mukinoki really slows the game down. He's not a fast worker. Unlike the pitchers at the back end for the Fukuoka Ball Club, who work fairly quickly, this is not Mukinoki. As that fastball misses down, we are now at 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the pitcher gets a new baseball. We're ready to go back at it. Kanami digs in. And the pitch ready to come here as the right-hander holds to the set. Checks the runner again over at second base, and the 2-1 is on the way. Fastball swung on, popped up down the left field line. If it's playable, underneath it is Mooney, who's there to make the catch. And that is going to do it as the Buffaloes will salvage one of the 3 games in this series. And that is going to wrap it up for the exhibition series. And the real thing will get going in a few days. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left to board. Your final score is the Buffaloes 1 and the Tigers no score. Stay with us, everybody. I'll come back and wrap it up for you here in just a couple of moments on the Last Drafts Baseball YouTube channel. Appreciate you for jumping in here tonight with us and hanging around for all the action. We'll be right back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. There wasn't a whole lot of scoring in this one, as it only took 1 run for the Buffaloes to get the victory tonight. In the 6th inning, it was Yuma Mune who led off with a single. He stole second base, and with 1 out, Ryoma Nishikawa banged him home with a single down the left field line. Looked like Nishikawa had got out his sand wedge and was able to dig it out and loop it down the left field line to drive in the run, but it counts just the same. That was your only scoring in this one here tonight. The win, well, that's going to go to Soichiro Yamazaki. He gets the win here tonight. It is going to be Daiki Hayakawa. He will take the loss in this one. Other scores from around the NPB. It was a full slate of games this evening. There are a couple other games that are now finals. Check that. Actually, everybody else is still in the in action here. They're in the latter part of the game. Top of the 9th inning, it is 1-1 between the Fighters and the Swallows. Top of the 9th inning, it is the Bay Stars with a 4-2 lead over the Lions. Top of the 6th inning, Eagles are up 6-1 on the Giants at the Tokyo Dome. It is a 6-1 lead at the top of the 8th for the Dragons over the Marines. That is in the Vantolin Dome in Nagoya. And in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Carp have a 4-3 lead over the Hawks. And that is your roundup across the NPB. Our friend Harrison says the Bay Stars game, it's 4-2 in the 9th. So he says, finish that game. Nope, we're not finishing that game. We're calling it a night. This is all we have for us. It's exhibition baseball. If it was regular season, you might have my attention on that for more. All right, everybody. Once again, we thank you guys for popping in. It'll be the Fighters and the Hawks in our opener on Thursday, which is Friday North American time at 2 a.m. It's a Friday night game in Japan. Hopefully you guys can make it in there for that one with us as well. We'll update our in-between innings stuff, but hopefully you guys will catch us in the next few days. Look for our streams and look for our schedule as we'll post it here accordingly. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you shortly.